come out of the locker room. So we've got 3 captains out for Blacksburg and no one for Pulaski. They're still talking about it, and I still don't see them. They're still in the field house. So.
Yeah, I guess so. Like to be fashionably late.
So Blacksburg tonight will be trying to keep it going. They have won 5 in a row after losing that heartbreaker double overtime the first week. But this is a team that has really, really gotten better, and you got to believe that they got better even after that game because it gave them the realization that, you know what, we just played with the state champion, played them head up.
That's right, took them to double overtime.
And really should have beat them. And so that had to give, even though they lost, it had to give them a lot of confidence.
Yeah, you know, I can't believe that they lost that game on that kind of a play. You know, something like that really makes you believe that it was supposed to happen. They were supposed to lose that game, and maybe that fired them up for the rest of the season because it's been pretty much golden since that game.
Funny thing about that game is, you know, I always wondered why you play a team that tough first game, and Coach Chris said it's very easy. It's all about dollars. Giles has the biggest crowd that comes in here, you know, biggest visiting crowd, and they get a percentage of the gate, and they make more money in that game than any other game of the year. So he said, we don't care when we play them, we just want to play them. And that's the only time they can play them. So that's why that's in the schedule like that. But it's a good test for this Blacksburg team. And you know, we talked about the youth, but we're looking at the Blacksburg roster, and they don't have very many seniors. This is going to be a team that's going to be very good next year. They're going to up front. They're going to lose Perkins, Sellers, and Moyo on the offensive line. Caleb Schrader will graduate. Holmes and Keys are both back. Gresh is back. Latrell Keys is back. So I mean, and they're going to lose Charles Sullivan, and Jennings, but they got Josh Price now working out at fullback. So the offense pretty much intact. You look at the defense. Joey Phillips, one of their top tacklers. Tyler Holmes, they're both back. Overstreet's a junior. Tay Ramsey's a junior. Russell's a junior. They're losing Sean Bennett, and that's it off the defensive line. So, I mean, this is a team that's going to be very good next year as well.
I mean, that's the only place they have to go. You know, this young of a team performing this well, you know, that definitely bands them together. It lets them know early in their high school careers that they can play, you know, A-list football. And coming back next year with that kind of a confidence, this is going to be one heck of a football team next year. I can't wait to see them play next year.
Blacksburg has run through their traditional paper banner. They're on the sideline now. Pulaski County has taken the field with their huge Cougar flag, and we're still waiting to see who their captains are going to be. And I think I've spotted them now. It's going to be number 73. That's Josh Miller. Number 52 is Sam Dougherty. 15, Dustin Bain. 63 is Scott Phillips. And let's see.
Looks like number 8's going to go out too, Seth Paris.
Yeah, they got about 5 or 6 guys. I'm not sure who's actually coming out. Maybe it's, I'm thinking Benji Poindexter now. Looks like Benji Poindexter and Brent Osborne. And now the officials are coming out without the players. This is interesting. Talking about something at the middle of the field.
Well, this is one of the most confusing coin tosses I've ever seen.
We still don't have the captains for Pulaski. Now we got them. There's only 2. And it is going to be Benji Poindexter and number 88.
Brent Osborne.
Okay. The other guys are just lined up on the sideline. So Pulaski already faked me out. We haven't even started the game yet. Now we'll watch the coin toss, and if Blacksburg gets the toss, normally they have been deferring, but the way their offense is moving the ball, they may take it first. We'll see how this works out.
And here's
the trend is to defer to the second half.
Right.
We've seen that so many times, but like I said, in a game like this, I think it's important that you get out to a really fast start.
Well, here goes the ref. This is heads. This is tails. I always thought that was so funny. Yeah, ref, I know what the heads looks like.
Yeah, coins in the air. Let's see who gets it. Blacksburg won the toss, so now we'll get to see what they want to do. They're going to defer. So they're going to kick off and try to hold Pulaski and get good field position. That's the theory anyway. And while they set up, we're going to tell you, we got to look at the statistics up until now, and boy, very impressive for Latrell Keys. He already has 716 yards on the season. He is averaging 5 yards a carry, over 100 yards per game. Greg Keys just about leads the whole area, this side of the state in interceptions. He got 5.
Yeah, it's almost won a game.
Tyler Holmes, number 1 receiver. He's caught 18 passes, 2 of them for touchdown. Greg Keys has 2 touchdown receptions. And, of course, Trey Gresh, quietly very efficient. He has 51% completion rate. He's tossed 6 touchdowns. He only has 4 interceptions.
Yeah, over almost 650 yards passing on the year. So that's not too shabby for a sophomore quarterback. Got to say, he is definitely definitely impressed me this year. You know, sophomore quarterbacks, you don't expect them to be a team leader and someone who can carry the team and get those points, but that's exactly what you see when you see Trey Gresh play. He carries his team, he gets them down the field, and he gets the ball in the end zone. He does it week in and week out. It's amazing.
So Caleb Violet will kick off, puts the tee on the ball on the tee at the 40-yard line, deep for Pulaski, number 14. That's Demetrius Brown in the middle, and normally Violet kicks it right down the middle, so we'll see if Brown gets an opportunity to run it back. We saw Caleb warming up, and he was drilling it out of the end zone.
Yeah, he was.
Let's see what he does with this kickoff. End over end, very high and very deep. Brown's going to go back inside the 5-yard line, bobbles at the 3, now he comes out to the 10, 15, right at the middle, stumbles and just barely gets to the 20. Looked like he tripped over the 15-yard line. Chris, just what we were talking about, rough part of the field down there.
Yeah, he did. Looks like he tripped over part of the field there. Either that or he looked up and saw those 3 Blacksburg guys coming on a beam on him and just said, I don't want to take this hit. And he kind of definitely fell over on that one, didn't get hit at all.
So first down for Pulaski right there. Tackle on the play made by number 27, Robert Starrett. If you could say a tackle, I mean, mainly the ball carrier's on the ground before anybody got to him. All right, so they're going to line up, Pulaski will, with Shea Dunnigan at quarterback. 2 runners in the backfield are going to be Newby and Peak and Poindexter. It's Peak with the ball over the right side. He got a couple yards, not much more than that. They'll mark it at the 22-yard line.
There's that stiff run defense we were talking about in the pregame. I expect them to be there all game long. Tay Ramsey getting right through there, Overstreet, pounding through on every play, like we've been seeing the past couple weeks from this D-line.
Pulaski uses the run to set up the pass. They run the ball most of the time. They threw the ball 13 times last week, but I got to believe it was in a catch-up mode. They are a running team. They don't like to throw, and if they get the lead, they'll just keep running it right at you. 2 guys in the backfield, split backfield. It is number 3. Benji Poindexter and Nubian Peak. This is going to be Poindexter up the middle. He doesn't get very far. Still fighting for yardage. Got maybe to the 25-yard line, but Blacksburg is swarming. And let's see who is the last guy up. Tyler Holmes.
Oh, okay. Tyler Holmes in on that one.
Yeah, Tyler Holmes was the last guy up. And also Joey Phillips is in there, sorry. So it's 3rd and 5 for the Cougars. Shea Dunnigan, 6'2", 182, junior quarterback. Where's number 10? Good-looking guy out there, good size for a quarterback. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks smaller than him this year. He's one of the biggest we've seen. Cam Akers, the junior center, leads into the line of scrimmage. We've got 1 wide receiver, Clay White, to the right side. Everybody else in tight on 3rd and 5. Here's Dunnigan handing off, and it's going to be a first down for Pulaski. Newby and Peak, who had over 100 yards last year, he gets up to the 33-yard line and picks up the first down for the Cougars.
Yeah, they're running like 2 or 3 fakes on every play, so it's going to take a while for Blacksburg to get used to what they're seeing out of this offense, because they're going to have to figure out where that ball's going every play.
Yeah, that was a counter play. Everybody went right, and Peak came back to the left against the flow, and it worked pretty well. Got about 7 yards on the play. First down for Pulaski at the 33-yard line. Once again, it is Peak and Poindexter in the backfield, and this time it'll be Poindexter over the right side. He got about 3 or 4 yards. Tackled by 21. That is
Eric Huff.
Eric Huff. Eric Huff on the play. Give him 4 yards. Call it 2nd and 6 at the 37-yard line. Coming in with the play is Clay White. The coach, Jack Turner, has already said he's stepping down after the season. That's how disappointed he is with the way things have gone, and he's taking full responsibility. Got to give him a lot of credit for that. I'm not sure it's wise to announce this early that you're not going to be around next year, but he did that. Fumble in the backfield. And Blacksburg has the football. And that's his Newby and Peak dropped it on the ground. We're talking to Rick Watson, the broadcaster for Pulaski, before the game, and that's what he said. We move the ball and then we shoot ourselves in the foot and make mistakes, make penalties, and it's really hard to overcome all those mistakes we're making.
Yeah,
that's what happened right there.
Yeah, they were running another one of those fakes, double fake on that one, and it looked like the final ball carrier was confused, didn't know who he was getting it, just kind of bounced off his chest and started rolling. So they're not. It looks like Pulaski's doesn't have their offensive rhythm set yet.
Joey Phillips came up with a loose ball. Great field position for the Blacksburg offense, and they're going right to 3 wide spread formation. Trey Gresh shotgun formation with Latrell Keys on his right side. Keys, Wade, and Tyler Holmes all over here on the right side. Ball is batted down by Benji Poindexter. Pass was intended for Tyler Holmes. It never left the line of scrimmage. Poindexter batted it away.
That's unfortunate because Tyler Holmes was wide open in the middle of the field. He could have caught that one, got at least a first down, if not close to the 10-yard line, so they could have got a big play there, but got to get those blocks down. Got to not be able to get those hands up for the defensive line.
Well, that's a young quarterback mistake because you have to have a lane to throw.
Yep.
Because you got a receiver open, you have to have an open area to get the ball out there. And Trey Gresh is 6 foot, but that time Poindexter got his big hand up there and knocked it away. Here's Keys up the middle, running with the ball down to the 27-yard line and got about 3 yards, and that's it. On 2nd and 10, it's going to be 3rd and long for Blacksburg. So we'll see what Coach Dave Christ and his offense comes up with here. Caleb Schrader and Josh Price in the game for the first time, so they're setting in some big guys.
Here comes that I formation.
Yep, we got the I. We got 2 tight ends. Keys and Holmes are coming out wide to the right. Tyler Holmes will be in the slot. It's going to be 3rd. Boy, it's 3rd and 9. I thought he got more yardage than that.
Yeah, I think he got at least one more. Referee's holding up play here for something.
He's wanted to talk to the back judge for some reason, and I'm questioning where the ball is. It seemed to me like he was close to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like he got at least another yard or two out of that one.
Now they're going over and talking to Jack Turner on the Pulaski bench, and I'm not sure what this is about. Could be something about one of the Pulaski players and what they're wearing, what kind of equipment they're using. I'm not sure. Usually that's what the case is when you go talk to the coach, and now the player is coming out. I think that's what it is. He's come out of the game. Jared Cole, for some reason, is out, and I'm not sure why, but it looks like an equipment situation. Maybe a chin strap broke, or, these guys are required to have certain equipment.
Yeah,
if you don't have it, you got to come out.
You got to wear it a certain way, too.
Could be a chin strap or a face guard problem. In any event, it's 3rd and 9 for Trey Gresh in the offense. Gresh calling signals. He is going to play action pass, roll right, looking to throw. Down the field he goes. It's too far. Greg Keys was open, and he overthrew Greg Keys. Wide open, Greg Keys.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's Trey Gresh knows he really messed up there.
Yeah, he doesn't look too happy with himself. I wonder if we're going to see Violet come out in the field here.
And
I think this is within his range.
It's right on the corner of his range.
There he is. There he is.
We're going to get a field goal attempt from Caleb Violet. You're right. It's going to be about a 45-yard
About 45 yards.
He definitely has the range.
Yeah, we saw him booing him from here in the pregame.
Key here is good hold, good snap, and get the ball up in a hurry and it's going to be on the left hash mark. A little bit of a left to right, or right to left kick here. Left to right kick, sorry. But Violet definitely has the range. 45-yard field goal attempt. Kick is up. It is
no good.
No good. Just a little bit offline.
Wide right.
But it goes wide to the right. So, Blacksburg turned away. The first Pulaski turnover does not hurt them, and the Cougars get the ball back on the missed field goal, and they'll get it at the 20-yard line. That's by rule. Anytime you're outside the 20, missed field goal goes to the 20.
That's why they do that.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's high school rules now. If you're in college, different deal. And pros, of course, is from the spot of the field goal. You get the ball if it misses. So you gotta really pay attention to what level you're at here in these rules as they change a little bit. But it's a break for Pulaski. Anytime you turn the ball over in your end of the field and you get away and there aren't any points on the board, you got to feel pretty good. So Blacksburg goes back on defense, and let's see if they've been able to make some adjustments because Pulaski was running the ball pretty good on them in the first series. 8:54 left first quarter, no score. Second possession for the Cougars. The quarterback is Shea Dunnigan. Shea Dunnigan hands off to Poindexter. He runs right. He's got some room. He turned a corner. He is out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Biggest play of the night so far, and it comes from Benji Poindexter. Actually going to mark it at the 37-yard line where he stepped out of bounds. John Cook was the first defensive player there for Blacksburg.
Yeah, and they're going to have to shut down that outside running game. They can't let a guy like this with some speed, Poindexter, they can't let him get outside because he's going to, he'll run off 10 yards if he can get outside of that defensive end.
He's a senior, 5'11", 184, and he's back there with another good running back, number 5, Nubian Peak. But so far, Benji Poindexter's been doing the work. First down at their own 37-yard line for Pulaski. Dunnigan hands off to Nubian Peak. He's caught in the backfield. He fumbled the last time he handled the ball. He loses 2 yards on this play, and it was Tay Ramsey in the backfield.
Shot right through there. Almost looked like he got unblocked.
Solid.
Right through that guard.
Tay Ramsey has the ability to make big plays and make things happen, and that time he was in the Pulaski backfield about the same time Nubian Peak got the ball.
Yep, he's just a junior. He'll be back next year.
Love that name, Nubian Peak.
Mm-hmm. It's a great name.
That's a football name, I'll tell you. 2nd and 11 for Pulaski. The ball's back at the 35-yard line. 3:10 left to go, first quarter. So far, no score. Blacksburg and Pulaski. Cougars still running the ball. Nubian Peak carries the ball. He got loose. He's still loose. He may go all the way. Greg Keys is going to try to catch him, and he will. Only Greg Keys could catch it. He was out in front of everybody, and Greg had to tackle him from behind all the way down at the Blacksburg 20-yard line.
Not too many people in this league that can run away from Greg Keys, I'll tell you that much.
Nope. That's why he's there at safety. He's the only man that could have prevented a touchdown there, and now Blacksburg is, for the first time, defending their own goal line. First time tonight, anyway.
Yeah, we're going to need to see this defensive line step up if they're going to slow down this rushing attack from Pulaski County.
Not sure what kind of place kicker they have. I didn't see anything in the warm-up, so they're probably not thinking anything but touchdown right here. Wide to the right, wide to the left, I should say, is Clay White, number 4. And now Pulaski's going to take a timeout. They came to the line of scrimmage. They saw something they didn't really like, and they're going to take a timeout, and will take a timeout. 7:37 left, first quarter. No score between Blacksburg and Pulaski, and you're listening to Blacksburg High School football on Super Talk 101.7.
But we've done some things where he jumps off from the side. We've done some things passing him back and forth. We've done some activities where he floats on his back, on his stomach. I think swimming is a fun thing you can do if you're a kid. And I think it's good for kids to learn about being in the water.
The Water Babies class is one of the many classes that the Blacksburg Parks and Rec Department has to offer for you and your child. Call 961-1135 or visit www.blacksburg.gov/recreation.
The Bruins on a 5-game winning streak, and Pulaski looking to turn their season around and be a big step tonight if they can pull the upset. They're 1-5. They lost their first district game a week ago to Hidden Valley by a score of 27-7. They're threatening right now just a short distance of being in the red zone. They're right at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Poindexter. He tries the right side. Nowhere to go, I should say. No room, and tackled by Russell. It looked like Russell.
Eric Huff, 21.
It was Eric Huff, right. So Poindexter gets no gain. They gave him a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 9, just inside the 20-yard line.
And that's what you're supposed to do when you're an outside linebacker and end. You know, you got to force that halfback back to the inside. Eric Huff did a nice job there. Broke down, gave him nowhere to run to, so he had to go back inside, and he couldn't, so he just got tackled.
Big defensive stand here early in the game for Blacksburg. They've got to really dig in and keep Pulaski out of the end zone. Dunnigan this time hands off to Nubian Peak. He didn't get very far. Got maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 8 for Pulaski. Coming into the Blacksburg defense, Josh Reynolds, number 26. And he is replacing Adam Siegel. Didn't even know Adam was in there. So 3rd down and 9, and Chris, this is a huge play right here.
This is going to, if they can stop him here, get him to 4th and long.
And they'll probably go for it. I really don't believe they've got a field goal kicker.
I didn't see one out there in pregame.
I saw a pretty good punter, but I didn't see a place kicker that was making anything. So you got to believe they got 2 downs to get 8 yards here, or 9 yards. Once again, it's Peak and Poindexter behind Shea Dunnigan. White goes in motion. And now we've got a whistle, flag is down, and this could be a false start or delay of game. Let's see what we got. Yes, delay of game on Pulaski.
Yeah, because I didn't see anybody move.
And this is what you would expect from a 1-5 team.
Yep.
Chris, they're making all kinds of silly mistakes.
Well, I think last week they had about 100 yards in penalty yards. Pulaski County did.
They had 88 yards.
88.
I heard the guys talking on our pregame countdown show, and I think it was 88 yards in penalties. You just can't win when you have that many penalties and that many mistakes. I think they had 4 or 5 turnovers too.
Yep.
They've already had one tonight. It's the first penalty on Pulaski. So now it's 3rd down and 14, and they're going to give the ball to Peakett. He's clipped early, right when he got to the line of scrimmage, by Russell.
Nathan Hopkins got down there too.
I'm sorry, it was Nathan Hopkins. You're right. Nathan Hopkins got him right away. 4th down for Pulaski. 4th down and 13, and the ball is back at the 23-yard line. They have to get all the way down to the 10 for a 1st down, and obviously they're going for it. No man's land here. You can't punt. You're too close, and you don't have a kicker, so no choice but to go for it.
Gotta imagine they're going to be passing here.
Jay Dunnigan is yet to throw tonight, but this will be the opportunity. He's got Clay White, the wide receiver, coming wide left. He's got a couple tight ends he could look for, Cedric Brown. So let's see what he does on 4th and long. Nope, they're going to give the ball and they're going to run the ball. And it's going to be Tyler Holmes with a huge tackle.
Wow, that was huge. Tyler Holmes just ran across on the other side of the defense and caught the ball carry from behind. If he didn't do that, it looked like everybody else was blocked, and it looked like he might scoot in for a touchdown, but that was great.
That was Jared Cole coming from a flanker position, a little bit of a reverse. They tried something different, and Tyler Holmes shut it down immediately.
Yeah.
First down for Blacksburg at their 20-yard line.
Looks like it fooled everybody on the Blacksburg defense except for Tyler Holmes, and man, he put on the Jets.
So
Definitely caught him from behind.
Runs out of downs, Chris. They had a good drive going, but the defense, just exactly what we said they had to do, they rose up and stomped.
Yeah, they stiffened when they needed to.
So let's see if Trey Gresh now can settle down and get the offense rolling. He had some open receivers in the first series. He just couldn't hit them. Now we've got I formation with Josh Price and Latrell Keys in there. It's going to be Price the fullback. Gresh kept the ball. Trey Gresh kept the ball, and he didn't have to get anywhere. And he was tackled by number 17, Tyler Claudes over there on the Pulaski right side of their defense. And that was a double fake, and then Trey kept the ball. Triple option that time.
Yep, fooled me.
I really thought Josh Price the fullback.
So did I. It looked like he did.
And then I thought Keys had it, and then I realized that Trey still had the ball. And he didn't. Now we've got a face mask on Blacksburg. That's unheard of. A face mask penalty on the offense.
Must have been it must have been a lineman.
That'd be a lineman, yeah. But I mean, usually it's on the defense.
That's a very, very rare penalty.
That's a 10-yard penalty. So now they're going to be back at their. That's from the spot of the foul, so it's not as bad as you might think, but they're on the 14-yard line. It'll be 1st and 16 for Blacksburg.
They're going to need to hurry on this one. Looks like there was some confusion getting the play in there.
Greg Keys, they may have to call a timeout. Now we've got a whistle. There's been a lot of confusion early in this game.
There has.
The officials have stopped the clock several times. And one was, I think now it's a matter of where the ball should be spotted. I think earlier it was an equipment problem, but the officials have been way too involved in this football game. They didn't even let these guys play. So they stopped the clock with 4:36 left in the first quarter. And what this is doing is allowing Pulaski to get the right people in the game. And if you're Dave Christ, I wouldn't be very happy about this. You're ruining any kind of flow that Blacksburg's trying to get going here.
Yeah, you see Pulaski's just shuffling in guys right now, left and right.
And if you're Blacksburg, the coaching staff has to be concerned that the Bruins are not getting off to the usual quick start. And the longer you let Pulaski hang around in this game, the tougher it's going to be.
Yep, that's true with any team.
Right.
Got to put them away as soon as possible.
So whatever it was, apparently they've got it straightened out. Well, I don't know. I think they're looking at the clock. They're looking at their watches. Oh, that's what it is. They had the ball marked wrong.
Okay.
Now they're bringing it back out to the 19-yard line.
I guess I didn't realize it was a spot foul.
It was a spot foul, and so now it's going to be 1st and 10. So let's just start over. Dave Christ is getting an explanation.
2nd and 10. There it goes.
2nd and 10, right. So things look a little better now for the Bruins. I see. They declined the face mask penalty. That's what it was. Because had they accepted it, Chris, they wouldn't have picked up 4 yards. They wanted it down.
I see.
So it's 2nd and 10.
Longest decline ever.
Yeah, that was the confusion. They declined it, and apparently the officials didn't pick it up. Here's Trey Gresh going to run the ball straight ahead. I think Trey's on his own. If he sees something, he could just go right ahead and run straight up the middle.
Yeah, looks like they got a pretty good audible system set up for him. Last week we saw Gresh call an audible from the line, and that actually sprung Latrell Keys for about a 25-yard touchdown run. So he's definitely got the audibles under control.
Got about 3 yards on that play. It'll be 3rd down and 7 now for this Blacksburg offense that is yet to get on track tonight. No rhythm, no sense of urgency. They just, to be honest with you, they look very flat.
They do.
They look flat right now. I'm not sure why. Trey Gresh back to pass. Looking. Tyler Holmes is open. Tyler Holmes has the ball. And Blacksburg will have the first down. We've got a whistle. A flag. It came in after the play and it has to be on Pulaski. Was it a face mask?
I didn't see a face mask,
We're going to find out, but the flag came in right as Tyler Holmes was being tackled. And let's see.
Yep, looks like they're about to call a face mask.
Yeah, it's going to go on to Cougars. Face mask. That's what it is. So that goes on to the end of the play. So it's a 5-yard inadvertent face mask. And that will be a first down for Blacksburg at the 38-yard line. And the first pass completion for Trey Gresh tonight, and Tyler Holmes was wide open.
Yep, that's a good way to get it started. Get your quarterback get him some composure, get him some confidence, give him those nice, easy pass routes over the middle, out in the flat.
Well, the other thing is that'll open up the running game.
Yep, sure will.
Passes. So Blacksburg now, a little bit of operating space here at the 38-yard line. Here's Latrell Keys over the left side. He got 2 or 3 tough yards up to the 41-yard line. Pulaski coming in just a little bit late after that play. No flag, but you could tell these Cougars are fired up. That'll be tough. 1-5. You know your coach is resigning at the end of the year. And this is a team that made the playoffs a year ago, so you just feel like probably they're almost in a state of shock.
Yeah, no one's really given these guys a whole lot to play for, you know, so they got to find it themselves.
Exactly. 5-yard gain by Latrell Keys, 2nd and 5. Greg Keys wide to the right, Tyler Holmes on the left side. I formation, Price and Keys behind Gresh. He's going to throw again. He's going to throw for Greg Keys down the sideline. Greg was bumped at the 35-yard line. No flag. The ball was in the air, and Greg was bumped off of his route. Could have been easily called interference.
Yeah, that one could have gone either way.
But it was not.
Yeah, it looked like maybe the ref decided that they were both just running down the field, and maybe just Keys stepped on his foot a little bit. So
Trey Gresh still having a little connection problem with his wide receivers. 1 completion in his first 5 passes. Slow start for the young man, but Trey's a battler. He's a fighter. He'll come back. And now another big 3rd down play for Blacksburg. Jake Belote now in the game, wide receiver to the right side. 3 wide receivers left side. It is Holmes, Wade, and Keys. Gresh is in the shotgun. He's going to roll left. He's got a lot of options. Now he's going to run. Big hole. And there he goes. 50, 45, 40. And out of bounds. 35, 30. Still going. I thought he was going to go out of bounds.
Wow.
But he kept going down to the 27-yard line. Wow, Trey Gresh saw an opening, Chris, and he just went through it.
He sure did. You know, watching him run, it's great because he doesn't really look like he's running very hard. And you know, you'll see him running like to the sideline, and then you'll see one of the defenders for Pulaski County taking an angle on him. You say, oh, well, he's got him. But then Gresh just somehow runs right by him, and he's fast. You know, he's fast.
Deceptive speed, and he did the right thing. His receivers were covered, and not only that, they had taken the secondary way downfield.
Yep.
So once he broke the line of scrimmage, there was nobody there.
That was a huge play. Huge.
1st down, Blacksburg now. First time inside the Pulaski 30-yard line at the 27. Here comes a rush. Trey waits, gets rid of it. He's got a guy open. He overthrew Jake Belote. Jake was just getting open at the 5-yard line. Unfortunately, Trey ran out of time as he had some pressure coming from the outside. Cougars got some pressure on him. He had to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, if he could have sat there in the pocket for another second, I think he might have had another complete pass on that one.
So that goes incomplete. 2nd and 10. 2:13 on the clock. First quarter, no score. Pulaski County and Blacksburg playing head-to-head, and nobody's been able to do any damage just yet, but the Bruins are driving. And they are, once again, in range for Caleb Violet, excuse me. It's about where they were last time, though, and he missed. So they'd like to get a little closer. Keys comes out wide right. Tyler Holmes slot right. Shotgun formation. Latrell Keys gets... Oh, Trey Gresh kept the ball. Faked it to Latrell Keys. Got down to the 20. He's still about 2 yards away from a 1st down. It'll be 3rd down for Blacksburg, but Trey Gresh with a nice fake job. And he is running wild here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Coach Chris must love having him healthy. You know, we haven't seen them call too many plays. Trey Gresh is, for Trey Gresh to run the past couple weeks. Maybe he was still nursing that ankle a little bit, but he must be back 100%, completely 100% now.
Caleb Schrader and Josh Price check into the game on 3rd down and about 2.5 for Blacksburg. Now they go to the eye. Price and Keys right behind Trey Gresh. Let's see if they give it to Latrell. He's the money guy here. No, they're going to throw. Oh, and they've got Greg Keys wide open. Greg's at the 10 and hit down at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal. Benji Poindexter unloaded on Greg Keys, but it's 1st and goal for Blacksburg.
Sure did. Keys made an excellent move there on the cornerback to get himself another 5 yards, and that's 5 yards closer to the end zone. That was good work. Good catch, good play.
What a great call on 3rd and 2, Chris. You're looking for the run, and Keys was wide open.
Yeah, I was almost halfway expecting to see Price get the ball on that one.
They lined up in a tight formation, I formation, and they had Greg Keys wide to the right, the only wide receiver in the play, and they threw it to him, and what a great call. Now he's going to the left side. Greg Keys way out to the left side. Again, 2 tight ends, I formation, Latrell Keys and Josh Price in the backfield. Here we go, 1st and goal. Josh Price, the fullback. No, they pitch it to Keys, and he's out of bounds at the 10. He actually lost yardage, and again, Trey Gresh doing a nice job with ball faking, and he's faking me out right now.
Yeah, I'm sure is. He's definitely got those fakes down. You know, he's got a lot of the intangibles for a quarterback. He's good at the fakes, got that good hard cadence. We've seen him draw people off sides a lot this year. But he's only a sophomore. He's going to do big things here in Blacksburg.
Lost of 2 on the play. It's back at the 9-yard line. So that didn't work. See what they come up with on 2nd and goal. I almost feel like down here they're going to have to throw for it. Pulaski's pretty tough on the run. Gresh in a shotgun formation, looking to throw. Here comes the rush, and they get him in the backfield, back at the 15-yard line. Pressure coming from number 88 for Pulaski on defense.
Yeah,
Brent Osborne.
They were bringing 6 or 7 guys on that one. When you only got 5 guys blocking for you, it's kind of hard to block that many people.
43 seconds clock running here in the first quarter, and this could be the first time that Blacksburg has not scored in the first quarter, Chris. We have to go back and look, but they have scored in every game in the first quarter that I think I can remember, and they're close to not doing that here tonight. Third down and goal from the 15-yard line. Gresh back to pass, throwing in the end zone. Looking for Tyler Holmes, and it's incomplete.
Ooh.
Boy, it could have called interference there, too, I think. Number 14 was all over Tyler Holmes. That was Demetrius Brown. Now we're going to see Caleb Violet, a little bit closer field goal attempt. He should make this. He's pretty accurate from inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I'd almost say that one should have been called pass interference.
So Blacksburg turned away again, and Trey Gresh, you can just see how frustrated he is. He worked hard to get his team down that close. He didn't want to talk to anybody. He is upset. And Violet's going to try to salvage some points here. This will be a 32-yard attempt. Cook's going to hold at the 22-yard line from the right hash mark. Violet's pretty accurate from here. Let's see if he can get it through. Ball's down, kick is up, and it looks good. No, he must have pulled it.
Wide right again.
Wow. Caleb Violet has missed 2 that looked very good in the air. They just didn't get through the uprights. So
there was a big rush coming from his left side on that one. So, I almost can't blame him for kicking that one a little bit to the right. If he kicked that probably down the middle, it might have gotten blocked. So it was real close to a block on that one.
Both teams have taken the ball down the field and then stalled out inside the 20. Actually, Pulaski right at the 20. Blacksburg had it at the 7 or 6-yard line, Chris, and then went backwards from there. First down, Pulaski at the 20. Second time tonight. The Bruins have missed a field goal. Handoff in the backfield goes to Nubian Peak, and Nubian Peak gets about 5 yards across the 25-yard line. Not going to see him throw much tonight. Haven't seen a pass yet. Shea Dunnigan handing off to Poindexter and Peak, number 3 and number 5 in the Cougar backfield.
Yeah, Blacksburg's going to need to make sure that they're on their A-game tackling tonight. They've been throwing a couple shoulders, throwing a couple arms. They're going to need to be on their tackling form if they're going to stop this rushing attack.
That's the end of the first quarter, and it's been a hard-fought first quarter. Nobody's been in the end zone. Nobody has points, and we're going to take a break. Time out on the field. No score here tonight from Blacksburg. You're listening to Blacksburg High School football on Super Talk 101.7.
Why do I call it a funny bone?
Why can't penguins fly? Like a sea safety.
Can we go to the moon on vacation?
If you think it's tough answering these questions, imagine the ones you'll get if your child is diagnosed with cancer. CureSearch.org can help. It's run by doctors and scientists whose research has led to an overall cure rate of 78%. You're not as alone as you feel.
We're back live, Bill Brown Stadium. Nubian Peak on the ball on the carry, and Tyler Holmes on the tackle as Pulaski went 2nd and 5, got a couple. It's going to be 3rd down and about a yard for the Cougars. Call 3rd and 2. They need to get to about the 29 or 30. This is a big 3rd down play. If Blacksburg can hold here, Chris, they get pretty good field position.
Yep, they sure can, but they're going to need to stop them with about 3 yards to go for that first down. And with this,
we got some stats, and it's unbelievable. Look, how many Latroki's 2 yards?
2 yards on 3 carries.
Trey Gresh, obviously the leading ball carrier.
35 yards.
You don't really want your quarterback to be the leading ball carrier, but that's the way it worked out.
No.
Here we go, 3rd down and 2 for Pulaski. Dunnigan calling signals. He gives the ball to Poindexter. Poindexter falls ahead for the first down. Boy, he's the kind of guy. He does not go down in the first hit.
Got to wrap him up. Got to squeeze
him up, and you need help usually. He's a big, strong kid, and that time he just fell forward and picked it up.
Yeah, he just pushed off his tacklers and kind of stumbled forward for the first down.
And it was Tyler Holmes, believe it or not, who missed the tackle.
Wow.
He ran right through Tyler's tackle, and it was actually Huff who brought him down. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line for Pulaski. Dunnigan hands off this time to Nubian Peak. He's got some running on the left side, and Cook has to bring him down. John Cook, the safety, had to come up, and Peak picked up about 8 yards on the carry.
Yeah, Peak had he had 56 yards in the first quarter, so he is no slouch.
Ball's out the 41-yard line between Peak and Poindexter. They got a couple of really hard runners. When I say hard, I mean they put their head down and they run over people. And they're going to line up and come right at you. Blacksburg already knew that coming in. 2nd down. This is Poindexter straight ahead. and I don't think he picked up the first down.
No, I'd say it's going to be about a yard short.
Good tackle there for Blacksburg by number 50. That was Dustin Price. It is short, 3rd down and a yard, and Blacksburg is putting in the big guys. Gary Moyo, who usually plays on offense, is coming in and trying to shore up that defensive line a little bit here on 3rd and 1. Meanwhile, Pulaski sends in number 40, Caleb Wilson, with play from the sideline on 3rd and 1. Poindexter and Nubian Peak. Flag is down. Before anything else happens, let's check the penalty. That's an early flag, and that could mean an illegal substitution. We'll see. Now we're getting a sideline warning against Pulaski. And all that means is the players are too close to the field and they have to move them back, and the next time that happens it will be a penalty. And you can see across the way how close they are, Chris, to the line of to the field play.
Yeah, they're almost right on the line.
That's called intimidation. And you know, they're doing that on purpose. They just want Blacksburg to know that they're there, and Blacksburg, of course, I'm sure does the same thing when they're on the road. Got to try to establish your presence a little bit, and Pulaski's going to try anything they can to win tonight. 3rd down and a yard. Jay Dunnigan, junior quarterback, has done a nice job directing the offense so far. He has yet to throw a pass. And don't look for him to do it on this play. It's going to be either Peak or Poindexter. And it's going to be Peak. And he gets the first down up across the 45, 46-yard line. Tyler Holmes on the tackle. So Greg Keys came up from the secondary. Keys limping a little bit. Boy, you don't want to see that. Just got hit right on the knee. First down for Pulaski at the 40. They're on 47-yard line, just underway second quarter. Pretty surprising so far. No score.
Very surprising.
Blacksburg has really only had one opportunity in the red zone, and they came away with no points on a missed Caleb Violet field goal. They were down there twice, and Caleb Violet missed a long field goal. Pulaski has yet to have really a scoring opportunity. Closest they've been is the 20-yard line. Handoff goes to Poindexter, and he is over the left side for 5 or 6 yards. Anytime you can get 5 yards plus on first down, Chris, you're doing the job.
You are, and you know Blacksburg needs to stiffen up on this tackling, because every time they hit Nubian Peak, he falls forward for at least another 2 or 3 yards. They're gonna have to step up and start pushing this kid back.
That was Tay Ramsey on the tackle that time. Josh Reynolds checks into the defensive lineup. Coming out is Adam Siegel. So they got actually 6 yards, 2nd and 4 for Pulaski at the Blacksburg 46-yard line. Dunnigan hands off. This is number 25, a new running back for Pulaski. He's hit and driven back. That's Cam Brown. My goodness, he was hit 3 or 4 times. He finally went down. Tyler Holmes first in for Blacksburg, and looked like Eric Huff was there as well.
Yeah, Latrell Keys in there at some point also. Good gang tackle.
So they lost a couple. 3rd down and 4 now for Pulaski, back at the Blacksburg 47-yard line. Clock running with 8:10. Got a couple light bulbs out on the scoreboard. I believe that's 8:05.
I think so.
And no score. That's the most surprising thing here from Bill Brown Stadium. Blacksburg coming off a big win last week. They won 5 in a row. Pulaski, big loss to Hidden Valley. Right now, these teams look pretty even on the field. Handoff goes to Poindexter. Huff corrals in. Poindexter still manages to get back
close
and get some yardage, and almost looks like picked up the first down. That's where they spot the ball.
Yeah, they're going to have to measure this one.
Tay Ramsey on the play. Poindexter did a great job. Huff had him cornered in the backfield, and somehow Poindexter got away, and they are going to measure, Chris. From here, I think he picked it up. It's hard to tell, though.
If he's got it by the nose of the ball.
It doesn't matter. They'll go for it on 4th down. It's at the Blacksburg 43-yard line, and I got to believe they would go for it at this point in the game. No score, and the way their defense is playing. They may not have to make that decision. I believe he picked it up by about the nose of the football. Let's just see. They're stretching the chains. Actually, he's short. He's got about, 6 inches there?
Yeah,
looks
like about 6 inches.
Okay, something like that. Inches anyway. Less than a yard. And obviously Pulaski will go for it here.
Yeah.
Now, here's a great opportunity, though, for the Blacksburg defense. Somebody to shoot the gap and get somebody in the backfield and get the ball back.
Yep, time to make a statement. Now
we're going to get a Blacksburg timeout. This is exactly what they're thinking. Come on, guys. We can make a big play here and turn this game around. We'll keep it right here. Coming up at halftime, I believe Chris has the Virginia Tech report
That's right.
this week, right?
That's right.
You were visiting with Coach Beamer this week, and what was the mood? I mean, they've lost 2 in a row. What was that like?
He wouldn't talk about the previous week. Actually, the only thing he would talk about is the Southern Miss game. He didn't want to address any issues in the team or even really the loss from the previous week. So
and I think that's wise. There's been enough said, enough people talking, and enough things written. He just needs to get that. They need to get that behind them, and they need to make a statement tomorrow night in Lane Stadium.
Right.
And they'll have an opportunity. They have a Southern Mississippi team that's pretty good. If they can beat them soundly, they'll get the attention of a lot of people again. And then, of course, another great opportunity coming up next Thursday night on ESPN, Thursday night national TV against Clemson.
Yep, that's going to be a big game.
Excellent opportunity for the Hokies to get it all turned around very quickly. It's been a very difficult 3 weeks for the Hokies, that's for sure.
To say the least. Clemson's got a big game this week, too.
Yeah, Clemson and Georgia Tech is the game in the ACC this week. No question about that. And I guess we're going to run down all the games too, right?
Sure are.
This is going to be the star of our halftime show, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking forward to that. But before we get to that, we've got a lot of football here. Still a lot of time here in the second quarter. And this is a huge 4th down play. Here we go. Pulaski's at the line. Blacksburg jumping up to the line of scrimmage, bunching up, trying to make a big play here. Handoff in the backfield to Poindexter. He's hit. He's going to fall forward and get the first down. Boy, they had him stopped, Chris, but you made a great point earlier saying that both of these ball carriers do a good job of falling forward after they're hit. It just depends on where they spot it, but I believe he picked it up.
Yeah, I think they're going to give that one to him.
Oh, yeah, he got it. He got about
first down.
Yeah, he got about a yard. So the Cougars pick it up. Blacksburg did their best to shut it down. They kind of knew what was coming. Poindexter, out of the 2 running backs, is the bigger and stronger back, and that's who carried the ball. He got 1 yard, and that's all they needed.
Yeah, it's hard to stop a guy that big from getting 6 inches.
First down at the Blacksburg 43 for the Cougars. No score. 7:18 left, first quarter. Shea Dunnigan is the quarterback. This time, Nubian Peak has the ball to the left side. Boy, he's picked up good yardage over the left side of the Blacksburg defense. And got about 5 yards again. Tay Ramsey made the stop for Blacksburg. He's trying his best to slow this running game down. You know, it's not like the Bruins are seeing anything that they didn't expect.
Nope.
It's just, these guys are going to come right at you. You got to shut them down. And right now, to be honest with you, the tackling has not been that great for Blacksburg.
No, it has not been so textbook, you might say.
Play wide to the right. Dunnigan hands off to Poindexter. He goes up the middle. He's got another first down all the way down to the Blacksburg 30-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 31. And it was John Cook who made the tackle along with Joey Phillips.
Defensive line's got to stiffen up. They're giving up 4 or 5 yards on every rush, it seems. Got to stiffen up on this.
This is about the point in the field. The last time Pulaski got down here, they fumbled the ball. Actually, no, they ran out of downs. They fumbled in their own end. But anyway, they're about ready to make a mistake based on their past history. Poindexter in the backfield with Peak. And it's going to be Peak this time. Nubian Peak down to the 27-yard line. Another gain of 4 or 5 yards. Man, they're just eating Blacksburg alive right now.
They sure are. Every play. They're either running up the middle or running right around the outside, getting 4, 5, 6, even 10 yards every play.
Tackle made by, looked like Overstreet, or Tay Ramsey again. We'll give him 4, 2nd and 6. Shea Dunnigan, the Pulaski quarterback, calling signals. Again, the handoff goes to this time to Poindexter, and this time he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. He did fall forward for about a yard. Tyler Holmes made the tackle. Overstreet was also at the bottom of the pile for Blacksburg. So now, for the first time in a while, it's 3rd and long for Pulaski. It's 3rd down and about 6. And they obviously have yet to throw a pass. They may think about it on this play, but obviously they like to run the ball, and they're content to do that until you stop them. And we haven't stopped them yet.
Nope, sure haven't.
They've stopped themselves a couple times.
Just that fumble.
There we go, 3rd down and 6. Once again, Nubian Peak and Benji Poindexter behind Shea Dunnigan, the quarterback. Dunnigan hands off to Peak. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a reverse, and it's going to go for big yards. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Pulaski on the reverse. Good job on that play. It was Chris Calfee who takes it into the end zone. They faked the ball to Poindexter. Calfee came around on the reverse and scored down the sideline. So Pulaski gets in the end zone first tonight. 6-0. They lead it with 4:53 left, and the conversion now is coming from the 10-yard line.
That was a confusing play.
That was a very well-designed play, and they set it up nicely. Everybody looking for the regular running play, and they pulled the reverse. Kicker is Logan Haynes, left-footed soccer-style kicker. Ball is down, kick is up. Low driving kick, and it's good. Timeout on the field. 4:53 left to go in the first half. Score, Pulaski 7, Blacksburg nothing.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. No stopping, no stopping, no stopping, no stopping, no stopping, no stopping, no stopping.
All right, we're back live. It will be Josh Miller kicking off for Pulaski. Watching him in the pregame, Chris, he doesn't kick it very far, very low kick. And Blacksburg should get a good return on this kick if he continues with that pattern.
Kind of a line drive. Just got to hope he can catch it.
So Miller moves to the ball, straight ahead kick, and that's exactly. How do you get a spiral off a tee?
I don't know.
That's what he did. You know, the ball's loose. Belote needs to get on it. He does, and he's hit hard at the 30-yard line. Wow. Belote got the ball and was hit immediately by number 15, Dustin Bain. That was a scary play. It was almost an onside kick that went about 30 yards.
It was. Almost like Belote was treating that one like it was a punt.
An effective kick. You don't have a chance to return that kind of thing. Belote tried to pick it up and run with it, and on second thought, he might have just fell on it. Would have been a better idea.
I'll take the ball to 30 every time instead of having to run it back, though.
First down, Blacksburg at the 29-yard line. Let's see what Trey Gresh can do with his offense this time. They're going to give the ball right up the middle to Latrell Keys, and he got about 2-3 yards, not much more than that. We mark it at the 32-yard line, give him 3 2nd and 7.
Tripped up in the backfield on that one, fell forward for about 2 yards once he hit the line of scrimmage.
Latrell Keys has still not got on track tonight. That's a big reason why Blacksburg is struggling right now. Trey Gresh has hit a couple of passes, but nothing is really clicking for the Bruins offense at this point, and that's got to be a little scary for the Blacksburg coaching staff. Clock running, and first half is quickly coming to a close here. 4:19 left to go. Trey Gresh back to pass. Throws it high, finds Greg Keys. Greg Keys catches it and gets the first down out to the 42-yard line. Oh my goodness, look where they marked the ball. Oh, okay, they're moving it up now.
Okay.
See where they marked it? No, they're marking it at the 41-yard line. He was out to the 43, and then they hit him backwards. Forward progress was way ahead of that. Anyway, first down for Blacksburg at the 41-yard line. So Gresh has been able to hit a couple passes, but they haven't been able to sustain anything yet tonight. 4 minutes left to go in the first half. They trail at 7-0. Pulaski on a reverse play gets into the end zone. Gresh with a lot of time throwing down the field. He's looking for Belote. Oh! Jake Belote stretches out at the 25-yard line and just couldn't come up with it. Tyler Holmes was also downfield, but it was Belote who had the best chance at it, but Jake needed to be about 2 inches taller to reach that ball.
Yeah, they set that up nice. Belote had a step on the cornerback there, and if that pass had been maybe just a foot or two shorter, that would have been a big gain for Blacksburg.
2nd and 10. That'll stop the clock with 3:52 left to go in the first. You know, Benji Poindexter, the guy who's been running so well for Pulaski, also plays defense. So you kind of hope that at some point that young man will get tired.
You got to imagine he's going to.
Timeout, Blacksburg. They want to talk about this. This is a very important drive. You don't really want to go to the locker room shut out and trailing 7-0. They'd love to go down and get some points here before the half.
Yeah, give yourself some confidence because you're going to be getting the ball back. So if you can come out and score now and then come back out in the second half and score again, start that second half out with a lead.
Chris, I'm just sensing for whatever reason this is a Blacksburg team that's just flat. There's no emotion down there.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the pregame. You can't get caught looking ahead.
Right.
You can't come out flat and play against a team that you expect to win against because you can't expect to win against anybody.
I mean, these kids are just like everybody else. They're looking at the paper. They know what Pulaski's record is. They know what they did last week.
Yep.
And they figured, hey, we're better than this team, but right now they're not.
No.
They're not playing as well as they have been, and they got to figure out a way to get it going.
They're not looking like the better team tonight.
No, not right now. Pulaski's got all the emotion. They're firing off the ball. They're making hard tackles. They're hitting, and they're running right at the Blacksburg defense, and they're being very successful with that plan. They've yet to throw a pass, and yet they've scored a touchdown.
Not even an attempt.
No. The reverse play was the only thing different that we saw, and that was the play that scored for him. Trey Gresh rolling right. He's got some room. He could run or throw. He's going to throw. He's got Tyler Holmes. And Tyler catches it, first down, and out of
Nice.
bounds at the Pulaski 48-yard line. Trey Gresh could have ran that far, but he decided to hit Tyler Holmes instead.
That was a nice pass play. I like seeing him get out of the pocket.
Yeah,
when
me too.
when he gets out of the pocket, he's very good at throwing on the run. He gets a nice bullet pass to Tyler Holmes
And
there.
you can just tell he's way more comfortable on the run than he is standing back there in the
Sure
pocket.
is. You know, I don't even know why. You know, most quarterbacks are more comfortable when they can get in their stance.
Yeah,
But
right. But he's got some weapons, though. If he can get the ball to Holmes and Keys, and they've got plenty of ammunition here. They just have to not panic. First down at the Pulaski 48-yard line. 48-yard line, we'll call it. Gresh now rolling to the left and throwing across his body, and Greg Keys stumbled, or he would have had it at the 35-yard line. And Trey Gresh took a heck of a shot right in front of the referee. He got leveled after he threw the ball.
yeah, he's getting some help getting some grass picked out of his face mask right now.
Anytime you have to pick grass out of your face mask, that's never a good thing.
No, your head got slammed into the ground pretty
Especially
hard.
if you're a quarterback. So give Pulaski credit. They got some pressure on Trey that time, and probably Trey would have liked to hold it just a little bit longer. Greg was just coming open, but he had to throw it a little bit early, and that's one reason why it was not complete. Second down and 10 from the Pulaski 48-yard line. Stops the clock with 3:44 left in the first half. 7-0 Pulaski. Here comes the blitz. Now we've got a whistle and a flag. The play is blown dead.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Timeout Pulaski before the play. Boy, that was a late timeout.
Wow.
So we're going to take a timeout. 3:42 left to go first half. Timeout score Pulaski 7, Blacksburg nothing.
Whether it's arts and culture, community events, great places to eat and shop, exciting athletics, you'll find it all in Blacksburg, the place to be.
Back live at Bill Brown Stadium, Bill McShane and Chris Singleton, and a late timeout by Pulaski, Chris. Almost looked like they were in wrong formation defensively.
Yeah, you had Jordan Wade and Greg Keys were split out to the left, and when that play started, right before it got blown dead, you saw Keys and Wade out there, running pass plays, running a pass route deep, and they only had one cornerback between the two of them. So that's got to be why Pulaski County called their timeout there.
Okay, we got two wide receivers, Wade and Keys again to the left side. We've got Holmes and Below to the right side. Gresh in a shotgun, spread formation. Trey Gresh has the ball. Here comes the rush. He has to scramble out of it, and he can't get away. He's caught in the backfield, back at the 49-yard line. It'll be third and long for Blacksburg. This is one of the few times this year, Chris, we've seen people blitz Trey Gresh.
Yep.
It's been very effective so far tonight.
I had a receiver open downfield, but he didn't even have a chance to see him. As soon as he got that ball in his hand with the shotgun snap, that whole pocket was collapsing around him. All he could do was tuck and run forward, try to get back to the line of scrimmage, but he didn't even make it there.
I think they're going to have to call a screen or some kind of misdirection to counteract the pressure, because Pulaski right now is coming after Trey Gresh, and he'll probably do it again here on 3rd and 12.
Yeah, they're bringing it pretty hard on him.
Got to get something quick out of there. He doesn't have time. Now they're going back to the I formation. Blacksburg with 2 men in the backfield, only 2 wides on 3rd and 12. Play action pass. They're going to roll Trey Gresh
Plenty
out.
of time.
Tyler Holmes is open. He catches the ball. He steps out of bounds at the 40, short of the first down. But it's 4th and 2 now, and they'll have an opportunity to pick it up if they want to. Boy, Tyler Holmes ran his route beautifully, but I think he would have liked to have gone down about 5 more yards and then break to the sideline.
Yeah, if you're gonna get that close to the first down on 3rd, you got to get to that marker. You got to run those extra 2 yards before you make a cut, because 4th and 2 is that gives your coach a very tough call here.
Little miscalculation, I think. They probably figured they were going to get the first down. Now it's 4th and 2. Tyler Holmes is coming out of the game on 4th and 2. This is interesting. Greg Keys goes wide right. We got 2 tights. Clark is stopped, but the play clock is running. Latrell Keys in the backfield by himself on 4th down and 2. And Trey Gresh is going to run the ball, and he's going to get the first down easily. Turns the corner, 35, 30, down to the 25 and out of bounds. Trey Gresh, all by himself, picks up the first down and stops the clock.
Very well set up player. They brought in the big formation. They only had 1 split receiver. That brought the whole defense to the inside, and they used that big right side with the extra man blocking on the right side to just crash down the defensive line. He had plenty of room to run there, plenty of room. And he even got a great block there from Greg Keys to spring him for an extra 15 yards. So that was a great play. Great call. Great call.
25-yard line is where they mark it, first down Blacksburg. So now they have an opportunity to get even in this football game before the half comes to an end. 2:43 on the clock. Keys and Holmes wide to the left. Gresh in the shotgun. Luttrell's in the backfield with him to block. Trey looking, lots of time this time. Drills it. Jake Belote has it. And then Jake Belote is drilled. Boy, he got hammered by two white shirts. And he just got, I lost track of him. He got buried down there.
Well, he's not a very big guy, you know.
A good catch, though, and it's down to the 20. Pickup of 5 on the play.
That was great blocking up front that time. Gresh had all the time in the world to throw that pass. He went through his complete progression, got down to his last guy before he gave it off.
That first time tonight, Trey's really had time back there to look around and found little Jake Belote, the littlest guy in the field. This time, Greg Keys is wide left. They go back to the I formation. Charles Sullivan is in the game in front of Luttrell Keys. Gresh back to pass, quickly throwing, and he's got Greg Keys at the 10. Greg lost the ball out of bounds, but he recovers it. It was a completed pass, and it will be first down Blacksburg at the 11-yard line. Greg tried to spin away, and in the process lost the ball.
Sure did. Good thing it was rolling out of bounds, though.
Yep. He got a good bounce, so he actually recovered it before he went out of bounds. In any event, it's a first down for Blacksburg, and they are moving, and they are threatening now for the first time tonight to get on the board against Pulaski. This is their deepest penetration of the night. They're at the 12-yard line is where they mark it. 1:59 on the clock, plenty of time, and Blacksburg has all of their timeouts left. And we're getting a conversation from the line judge and the referee. I've seen more talking tonight between this officiating crew, and now for some reason the back judge is going to come in and get involved. We're going to be here till midnight.
I think so. They keep taking these.
Now they're coming over to talk to
these
Coach
little powwows.
We're still not sure what this is about. It has to be a clock issue, is all I know. Well, we're never going to find out, I guess, because now they're coming to the line of scrimmage and we're ready to go.
And it was all for naught.
They're probably talking about where they want to go eat after the game. That's my guess. First down and 10 from the 12. Trey Gresh wearing number 12. Hands off Luttrell Keys. He goes right up the middle. Boy, he's hit hard at the 10-yard line and dribbled back. The ball came out, but the play was whistled dead. That is not a fumble.
Yeah, he was.
We could hear the whistle all the way up here.
If nothing else, his forward momentum was done.
But I tell you this, if you're Blacksburg, that's the one thing you don't want to do right now is turn the ball. I don't know if you noticed, Chris, but Trey Gresh is really looking at his right hand. He's been shaking it. He's hurt.
You think so?
Yeah, he did something to his right hand on one of those runs, or maybe when he got hit. But he's been doing this for about the last 10 minutes.
I have noticed that some of his passes haven't had quite the same tight spiral that he's normally throws with.
How many hits he's taken?
Yeah, he's taken 2 or 3 big ones.
Yeah, not only that, he's been running the ball. He takes a hit when he runs the ball, so I think he might be slightly injured. We'll have to check on that. Anyway, it's second down and 8, 2-yard gain by Luttrell Keys. He hadn't done anything in the first half. Both Gresh wanted to throw. Tyler Holmes was going across the middle, and Trey Gresh could not throw. He had to keep the ball, and he got sacked. Boy, oh boy, that's unfortunate. It was a quick post pattern that Holmes was running at the goal line free, it looked like, but somebody must have got a hand up, and Trey couldn't get the ball out of there.
Yeah, it looked like right as he was about to throw it, one of the defensive tackles from Pulaski County jumped up right in his face, and it took away his passing lane, so he had nowhere to throw it.
Third down and 9 from the 11-yard line. They can actually get a first down at the 1 without scoring. Clock is running, 38 seconds left in the half. This is a big third down play. Trey Gresh. Now he's going to throw for the end zone. He's got Tyler Holmes. Tyler Holmes is there, touchdown. Trey Gresh to Tyler Holmes in the end zone. And Blacksburg now is an extra point away from tying this game up. That was the old fade route, Chris.
Sure was.
Tyler Holmes was able to get some space, and he got the ball.
Yeah, that was a very beautiful pass there to the back corner of the end zone. Looked like the defender for Pulaski County had no clue the ball was even coming at him.
I think you're right. If he'd looked up and noticed the ball was in the air, he could have made a play. He was right there.
Just a little nice little easy pitch and catch to get to the end zone.
Violet is on for the extra point attempt. Cook will hold at the 10-yard line. This will tie the game. Caleb's 0 for 2 tonight on field goals. Let's hope he can get this one through. Kickers, it's a confidence thing. And that one is up and good. So Violet gets the kick through, and we have a tie score with 30 seconds left to go in the first half. I can tell you how big that is.
That's very big.
To go to the locker room, not trailing, but in a tie, and they already know they're in a game tonight. They just know that they're going to have to play tougher in the second half to win this football game. We're going to keep it right here, by the way, since we're so close to halftime. And once again, coming up at halftime, as usual, our Virginia Tech report. We'll hear from Virginia Tech coach Frank Beamer as they get ready for a huge game tomorrow night.
Homecoming.
Stadium at homecoming. Not only that, they have to figure out a way to break their 2-game losing streak. And then they don't have much time. They got to get ready for Clemson next Thursday night in Lane Stadium. So this is a big week for for Virginia Tech and their football team this year and the way the season's going to go. Yeah, if you look at it, they're only 4-2. They could run the table from here out, which is very possible, and finish 10-2.
They could,
and go to a great bowl game and really have a chance at the ACC championship if they win out.
10-2 is a good season.
Yeah, so I mean, they're going to need help, but it's not out of the question. People are kind of giving up on the Hokies, but I sure haven't. They still have a lot of football ahead of them. So anyway, we'll hear from Coach Beamer. We'll also set up tomorrow in college football. Huge game in the Big 12 as Nebraska plays Texas tomorrow. Talk about that game. Violet kicks off. Very nice end-over-end kick inside the 5-yard line. Back to the 10, 15, 20. Running right, got some room, got a block, still going, 25, 30, 35, and out of bounds. Boy, that's a good run back by number 14. That was Demetrius Brown back there. Knocked out right in front of the Pulaski bench. 19 seconds on the clock, and if you're Pulaski, that's not nearly enough time unless they do throw the ball, because we haven't seen a pass yet in the first half.
Yeah, that kick was to the left side of the field, and it looks like maybe some Blacksburg players got caught out of their lanes because the returner just ran all the way back to the other side of the field, and he got some good yards on that one, on some nice blocks.
They mark it at the 35-yard line. And the Pulaski flag is flying down there. And if I'm sitting in the stands, I'm not happy because it's blocking about 30 people.
Down in the front.
From seeing the game. That's a huge flag.
It is.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't be real happy. I'd say, put the flag down. Anyway, we've got 19 seconds. Pulaski, with their running game, probably has time for 1 or 2 plays. They do have 1 timeout left. But with the way these running backs are, look out. They can break it. It's Newby and Peak. And he does break a few tackles, still going, got about 10 yards up to the 45-yard line. Clock running, 10 seconds. Pulaski will use their last time out. They had to. It was not a first down. Had it been a first down, they would have stopped the clock and moved the chains. But that's the only problem with this offense, Chris. You don't have the kind of offense that can use, can get down the field with very little clock.
Right.
They got to run the ball. They haven't shown us they can even throw. We know they can, but obviously their bread and butter is the running game. So that's.
Yeah. But this guy Newby and Peak can break one off at any moment, it seems.
Well, either guy, Poindexter or Peak's got the speed, though. You're right. Poindexter probably wouldn't have the breakaway speed, and that's why a guy like Greg Keys is so valuable on your defense.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it before. He ran him down from behind, ran down their speed guy.
Saved a touchdown there, and they ended up scoring later. But you're right. I mean, you got to have guys in your secondary who can run down the ball carriers. So Pulaski uses their last time out to talk about this situation. They've got it at their own 44-yard line, 2nd and 1. And I'm sure that, they can throw a pass here. They haven't done it yet, but certainly that's possible. And that's what they're probably talking about right now, how to set up a pass play. Poindexter is going out of the lineup, at least temporarily, maybe just to get a towel. Now he's out of the lineup. So Pulaski must be putting in, an extra wide receiver. Number 17, Tyler Klontz, is wide to the right. And number 4, Clay White, is wide to the left. Let's see if Shea Dunnigan throws the ball. Yeah, he's going to throw it to White. White catches it, gets out of bounds at the 47-yard line with 4 seconds on the clock, so Pulaski has time for one more play. And if you're Blacksburg, you can't get deep enough on this play. Make sure nobody gets behind you. We know that Dunnigan has a very good arm, but we don't know how good his receivers are. White made a good play that time. This will be the last play of the first half. And once again, it's Klontz to the right side, White on the left side. One guy in the backfield, and there's a slot man, Demetrius Brown, on the left side.
They're not giving him much of an umbrella here.
Dunnigan back to pass. Here comes the rush. Dunnigan's going to run, and Tyler Holmes pushes him out of bounds. That's the end of the first half. So we played a half here tonight at Bill Brown Stadium, and nothing has been settled. They were all tied up. Halftime is over. Our score, Blacksburg 7, Pulaski 7.
Second team, respond to male subject, difficulty breathing, chest pain.
Your neighbors helped save a life last night. Be a volunteer. You can help save a life. You provide the time, we'll provide the training. To learn more, call the Blacksburg Rescue Squad at 961-1189.
All right, thank you very much. Back live at Bill Brown Stadium. And Chris, I got to tell you, we're looking at the stats. Before we get to that, though, think about the whole season. Blacksburg's 5-game winning streak. I believe since the first week anyway. I don't remember the Giles game first half, but this is the toughest first half that the Bruins have been in all year.
Yeah, they're not performing up to their par on defense at all.
But give Pulaski credit. I mean, they're just as advertised. They're running the ball hard. They're running right at Blacksburg. But the Bruins, for whatever reason, are missing tackles tonight. The intensity's not there, and we've already noted every time the Pulaski ball carriers they hit, they're falling forward for 3 more yards.
They're, every time they run the ball, it seems like they're getting it. Even if they can hit the line of scrimmage, they're still getting 3 yards out of the carry. But more often than not, they're getting 5, 6, up to 10 yards per carry. And that's just, you can't stop a team when they're doing that.
Go ahead and talk about how many rushing yards does Pulaski have?
Well, Nubian Peak is obviously their leading rusher, but in total, they've got 172 rushing yards in the first half. In the first half, and their second runner, Ben Poindexter, he's got 50 yards on 11 carries. So even their second rusher's getting 4.5 yards a carry.
So if you look at that, Blacksburg already knows they're in a football game tonight, but they have to feel good that they're a 7-7 tie. They could be down 14-0 easily.
Yeah, they sure could. But and Gresh has been actually throwing the ball a lot more tonight than we've seen him do.
We're not running.
Yeah, he's got 15 passing attempts tonight. And usually we'll see between 10 and 15 attempts per game at Gresh, but he's already got 15 in the first half. He's connected on 8 of them for 80 yards and a touchdown,
right?
And no interception. So he's doing pretty well from the quarterback spot. He's also got 46 rushing yards.
Well, it's obvious what Pulaski is doing. They're crowding the line of scrimmage. They got 8-9 guys up there, and they're daring Blacksburg to throw the ball.
Yeah, and even when Blacksburg goes to the spread, they're not spreading out. The defense isn't spreading out.
They've decided to take Latrell Keys out of the Blacksburg offense and see if the Bruins can overcome that.
Well,
right now, it's tough.
They have. Latrell Keys has 5 rushes for a total of 6 yards.
But Trey Gresh is a competitor. He figured out a way to get it done. And you think about how much running he did in the first half. He's going to have to do more than that in the second half.
I mean, he's the leading rusher by about 10 times. So, yeah, he's gonna have to get it done himself tonight. It looks like, as Latrell Keys has been effectively neutralized by this Pulaski County defense.
And how big is this game? Well, Blacksburg desperately needs to win, because after tonight, Hidden Valley comes in. They're undefeated, and then on November 3rd they go to Salem. They're undefeated. They haven't lost in like 5 years. Actually, no, but 29 wins in a row, something like that. So Blacksburg obviously is looking ahead. There's no question that their head is not in the game so far, but I think Dave Christ is smart enough to know that here in the locker room at halftime, he's going to get his team's attention and say, guys, look at the scoreboard. If we're not careful, we're going to get beat. You need to get your head on.
Yeah, and I think that message will hit home a little bit more with that touchdown they got in the second half, because you saw in the first quarter they came out very flat. They were very flat in the first quarter, and they kind of got their footing under them in the second quarter. So I think they realized that they were a little bit flat. And once they scored that touchdown, I think they got their heads back in this game. And I think we're going to see a different team come out of the locker room in the second half.
Okay, the only Blacksburg score, a Trey Gresh touchdown pass to Tyler Holmes of about 11 yards, and the reverse by Pulaski County to Jared White is the only score for them. They ran the ball well all during the first half, but that was the way they had to get in the end zone with a little bit of a trick play, and it worked well for them. So that's where we are, tied at halftime, 7-7. Pulaski County will kick off to start the second half. Blacksburg has it perfectly set up for them. They get the ball first. They need to start strong in the third quarter. And, Chris, if you look at the season, first quarter, third quarter, their two biggest quarters every game, 55 points so far in the first, 55 in the third. They didn't get it done tonight in the first quarter. Maybe they can get it done in the third.
Well, those are their two big ones. If they're not going to get one, they got to get the other one. So we'll see what happens.
So Josh Miller is going to kick off that funny-looking kick. This time he gets it end over end. It'll be Latrell Keys at the 15-yard line. Moving left 20, got some blockers. 25, 30, 35, turns the corner, 40, 45-yard line, and out of bounds, hit out of bounds after he crossed the 45-yard line, and that's a great start for Blacksburg.
Yeah, that was a good setup for them. They planned to run that one to the left. He had a nice convoy out there blocking for him. Nice big hole to run through, even a lead blocker, so it's not surprising he got back out to the 45-yard line on that one. Excellent play by Blacksburg.
We noticed before the game they did not have a strong kickoff guy, and that time he was only able to get it to the 15, so right away Latrell had a head start on getting upfield.
Yep.
And for the Blacksburg Bruins, they need to get it going early here in the second half. They have not been able to get any momentum going. They haven't been able to establish any kind of control in this game. They can take control right now if they can take it down the field and get it in the end zone. First down for Trey Gresh. I formation. Price and Keys in the backfield. Play action pass. Keys gets a rush, gets away. Gresh gets away. The ball is loose. Blacksburg falls on it at the 45-yard line. That was a scary play.
Very
Trey
scary.
Gresh went back to throw, had pressure in the backfield, and then he tried to run with it. Ball came loose, and falling on it was Bo Gentry, number 62, who has both ankles heavily taped tonight. He's fighting injuries, but boy, he was in the right place at the right time time.
I almost thought Gresh was going to get out of there and get a big gain, but Finally got dragged down, but the defensive lineman's back at the line of scrimmage.
And we need to say good job by Trey just to get back to the line of scrimmage or close, because he was in trouble in the backfield.
Yeah, if you're not going to throw it, best thing to do is get back to that line.
2nd and 10. Caleb Schrader comes on the field late. Let's hope they don't get a penalty. Trey Gresh, shotgun formation. He got the direct snap, looking downfield, throwing deep, and it's going to be intercepted. It is intercepted at the 27-yard line. The pass was intended for Trent Woodle down there, but it was way over his head, and it will be first down for Pulaski at the 28-yard line. Trey Gresh throws his 5th interception of the year.
Yeah, he's got to go up and try and get that ball.
Yeah, there was no effort by the wide receiver to go get it. You're right.
He just kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about anybody, but he's got to go up and try and get that ball.
That was actually Junior Brown, who wears 89. Woodle is 88, and it's hard to distinguish the difference, but it was Junior Brown. But you're right. Junior's a big kid. He needs to go up and get that ball. Junior Brown, to give you an idea what kind of size he has, is 6'3", 190. Now we've got a timeout by Blacksburg to start the second half. That's not a good sign. The defense a little bit confused going out on the field apparently, so they call a timeout. And we'll keep it right here since we're early in the second half, just underway. 7-7 tie. Blacksburg trying to stay undefeated in the River Ridge. They won their first district game a week ago at Cave Spring. They're 5-1 on the year. Pulaski came in, and I'm trying to figure out how this team is 1-5 because they're playing really well right now.
Yeah, they sure are. They play like this against most teams are going to win.
Only one win on the year, and that was against Jefferson Forest. Their losses, we have a minute here, we can tell you. They lost to Patrick Henry in the first week, 22-19. They lost to William Fleming, 20-14. They lost to Franklin County, 26-10. They beat Jefferson Forest, 16-9. Lost to EC Glass, 13-6. And then last week they lost to Hidden Valley after an open date. They lost last week, 27-7. But this week they're playing like they're 5-1, not 1-5. So Blacksburg now back on defense. They didn't get it done on the first possession in the second half. They're going to have to come up with a defensive play here. And once again, it's going to be Shea Dunnigan running that offense with Poindexter, and it's going to be Newby and Peak over the left side, and Tay Ramsey gets him down, but they got about 3 or 4 yards on the play.
Tay Ramsey.
Well, that's a better start, though. It wasn't 5 yards at least.
They got about, let's call it 3, 2nd and 7. Right. On first down, they've been averaging, I got to believe they've been averaging 4 or 5 yards.
At least, yeah.
At least. So clock running with 10.5 minutes left to go here in the third. 2nd down and 7 for Pulaski at the 32-yard line. Peak and Poindexter in the backfield with Dunnigan. This time it's Poindexter again over the left side, and he falls forward. He's got a first down out to the 40-yard line. Boy, it takes 3 guys to bring him down.
Sure does. He runs hard. I'll tell you what.
Nathan Hopkins and Josh Reynolds in on the play for the Blacksburg defense. Bruins apparently haven't been able to solve anything in the locker room because Pulaski's still running the ball very well here in the second half. First down. Handoff this time to Peak. Hitting the backfield, breaks one tackle. They got him, though, at the line of scrimmage. That time the defense rose up and stopped him. Nathan Hopkins and Tyler Holmes in on the play. So was Joey Phillips was there for Blacksburg.
Yeah, that was a nice play there by Tay Ramsey. He broke right into the backfield, and the halfback ran by him, but he got his arm out just enough to slow him down and let the rest of his defense get up in there and make the tackle.
No gain, 2nd and 10. That's what you have to do when you got a running team. You got to stop them on first down, put them in 2nd and long and 3rd and long. That makes
Make them pass.
Yeah, that makes it way more difficult on the offense. Once again, Shea Dunnigan, split backfield, Benji Poindexter and Newby and Peak behind Dunnigan. This time it's going to be Poindexter. He's got about 5 yards, maybe more than that, up to the 48-yard line. He got 7 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 3 for Pulaski.
He's given the Bruins a very. This is probably the toughest running back I'd say they've faced all year. He may not be the best one, but the way it looks, he's given Blacksburg more trouble than they've seen from any other rushing attack this entire year.
Everett Russell comes out of the game on 3rd down and 3. They get a little extra beef in there. Blacksburg does on this play, trying to stop the run. They know they're going to get a run here unless they get a reverse. It's the only other play we've seen from Pulaski. 3rd down and 3. Here we go. Dunnigan calling signals. Hands off to Poindexter. He goes over the left side. First down to the 47-yard line of Blacksburg. Let's see who gets up off the pile. Sean Bennett was there, and Greg Keys came up from the secondary. Tough running game for the Cougars. 100, what was it in the first half? 170 yards.
172 yards rushing in the first half.
They're going to go up over 300 yards to keep this up. And that does not spell good news for Blacksburg. 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Nubian Peak. He's still running over the left side. He's down to the 41-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play.
Another one. He just keeps rounding those off. Gonna have to do something to figure this out.
Josh Reynolds had to make the play, and he barely got an ankle tackle. What they're basically doing is beating up our defensive line. This is the first time this year we've seen our defensive line really get pushed back.
Yep, I was just going to say, I'm watching a lot of these guys get pushed back on the line right there.
Got 5. We'll call it 2nd and 5 at the Blacksburg 41. Pulaski County just running right at the Bruins right now. Shea Dunnigan is the quarterback. Handoff this time to Peak. No, this is Poindexter running left. He got around the corner, still going. Down to the 34-yard line, another first down for Pulaski. And it was, see who made the play. Siegel, number 32, Adam Siegel made the play. They're going to spot it at the 34-yard line. First down for the Cougars. So Jack Turner has his guys playing well right now. They've only made one mistake. Fumble in the first quarter, a couple penalties. Other than that, Pulaski's played a near-perfect football game. We're going to get a timeout. Cougars couldn't get the right players on the field for this play, so they had to take a timeout, and we'll take a timeout. 7:40 left, third quarter. Our score, Pulaski 7, Blacksburg 7. We're back at Bill Brown Stadium. Bill McShane and Chris Singleton. 7:40 left, third quarter. Wind blowing pretty good now, coming from left to right in the favor of the Pulaski Cougars at this point, but that means in the fourth quarter Blacksburg will have the win, so that's a good thing. But right now the Cougars are on a sustained drive. It started back at their 27-yard line, and they moved the ball all the way down to the Blacksburg 34-yard line where they have a 1st and 10. And the damage has been done all from the backfield combo of Nubian Peak and Benji Poindexter. This time it's Peak going over the left side. Plenty of blocks. Cuts up inside. Gets down close to the 25-yard line. John Cook had to come up to make the play from the secondary. That's a gain of 9 on first down, Chris.
Yeah, that big O-line for Pulaski County is they're just manhandling this defensive front for Blacksburg. They're going to have to step up and get something done here to stop this rushing attack. This is not fun to watch.
8 yards, we'll call it. 2nd and 2, just outside the 25-yard line. Blacksburg needs a big play defensively. Need a turnover, somebody catch him in the backfield, something to get this momentum stopped. There's Poindexter up the middle. They had him stopped at the line of scrimmage. He dances ahead for a couple yards, and he's close to another first down. He finally got him. It was Tay Ramsey and Nathan Hopkins teaming up to get him on the ground, but not before he came close to picking up another first down. In fact, they're going to measure. It's that close. It's at the 24-yard line. And that looks to me like it's right where the stick is.
Yeah, we haven't seen the third down on this drive yet.
If they don't get it, it'll be 3rd and inches. It's very close. Here's the thing, though, Chris. They had him stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he got away again.
Yep.
Missed tackles.
One little juke to the side, and he found his hole. And
it's going to be short.
Is it?
He's got a first down, I think. Well, they've got to make sure there's no kinks in the chain here. It's very close. They're looking at it. Still haven't figured it out. Geez, just give him the first down.
Yeah, really.
No, it's inches. It's
two
really
inches.
Close. The only way they're not going to get a first down here is if they fall down in the backfield, folks. All they have to do is snap the ball and go forward, and then we already know they can do that. They've been doing that all night. Anyway, it's 3rd and inches, and if they don't get it here, they're going to have another opportunity to get it. You know, if you're Pulaski, if I'm calling plays, this would be a great time to try and pass. Why not? They haven't done it all night long, and you got Blacksburg thinking you're going to run the ball. They don't have anybody wide.
Not even a single wide out.
They do have a flanker on the right side. He's kind of just a wing guy. They're going to give it to Poindexter. He's hit hard right at the line of scrimmage, but he got the first down.
Another missed tackle in the backfield.
Yeah, he just fell forward and picked it up. So Pulaski with another first down. They have about 5 on this drive. Blacksburg 23-yard line. First down. Clock running with 5:19 left, third quarter. The other thing that this kind of football does, it controls the clock. Blacksburg's had the ball once, or I guess twice in the second half, and that's it. Pulaski's owned this third quarter. Here's this is Nubian Peak. He got a couple yards, but not much more. Blacksburg trying to stiffen up a little bit here.
Yep, Nathan Hopkins up in there.
Nathan Hopkins. Bo Gentry was also in on the play. They moved Bo Gentry this week from offense to defense. He has been a starting offensive player, but they've decided to use him on defensive line. And right now they need to maybe put some new players in there. That defensive line is really looking tired. They've been just pounded on all night long.
And that'll happen when you play a team like this.
Second down and 8. Poindexter and Peak behind the quarterback. It's going to be Poindexter in the middle. He's not going to get much. Now it's going to be 3rd and long, Chris. For the first time, I think, on this drive, it's going to be 3rd down and 8 from the 22-yard line. Let's see what Pulaski comes up with.
Yep, 2 good defensive plays in a row. You see the defensive line, they stiffened up there in the middle, didn't let themselves get pushed back. And when you do that, there's no hole for the running back to run through. So that was 2 good plays from this defensive line. 2 in a row. Let's make it 3.
The Blacksburg crowd sensing this is a big play, trying to get a little emotion involved here, fire up the defense. Here we go, 3rd down and 8 for Shea Dunnigan and the Pulaski offense. Dunnigan turns around, hands off to Newby and Peak, and he just barely made it back to the line of scrimmage, and it's 4th down and 8 for Pulaski.
Good
Nathan
defensive
Hopkins.
stop.
Yeah, Nathan Hopkins, good play there.
Yeah, one thing about Blacksburg that you were mentioning last week is that when it's on the line, when they have to step up and make a play, usually they do. Well,
here's where they need to make a play right here. 4th down and 8. They can get the ball back if they can come up with one more stop on this potent Cougar running attack. Let's see what Pulaski calls on 4th down.
Confusion.
Yeah, well, they had a player run off late, and then I saw the referee counting how many players they have on the field. So Pulaski has to call a timeout. And we'll keep it right here because we don't want to miss this big play. 4:20 left in the 3rd quarter, and most of this quarter, Pulaski has had the football.
Yep, they sure have.
They've dominated this 3rd quarter. Blacksburg had the opening kickoff, was unable to get a first down. Actually, Trey Gresh threw an interception, and Pulaski's had it ever since.
Yeah, this time out here is probably a big bonus for Blacksburg because I'm sure that defense has got to be dog tired. After how many yards did they get there rushing? They've probably gone 50 yards down the field.
They started at 27. You figure it out. Did you bring your calculator?
No, I didn't. Actually.
Yeah, they've gone at least 60 yards.
Yeah, they've gone about 60 yards down the field.
Yeah,
and all rushing plays. So this defense got to be tired. Taking that timeout for them, giving them a breather. That's good. That's good news for the defense.
Well, if you're Trey Gresh, I'd be warming up down there. He's been down on the sideline a long time.
Mm-hmm.
There he is down here with his hands in his pockets.
He looks ready to go.
Yeah, well, I know, but I'm just saying he's got to be cooled off by now, and it's tough on the offense to be standing around this long.
Yep.
And tough on the defense to be on the field this long. Now you got to remember that Blacksburg has some players that go both ways. Tyler Holmes for one. Greg Keys is another guy who's out there going to go both ways tonight. I think those are the only 2. Here we go. 4th down and 8 for Pulaski from the 22-yard line. And it's going to be a pass play. Now the quarterback keeps the ball. He's hitting the backfield. He still has it. And now they push it down back at the 37-yard line. Tyler Holmes and Tay Ramsey with a huge defensive play.
That's 15-yard loss on the sack there. That was amazing. Nice, excellent penetration. And good coverage downfield. He was going to throw it, but he had nowhere to throw it, so he tried to run. Quarterback tried to run, and he just got eaten up by the defensive front.
Shea Dunnigan looked like he wanted to throw the ball. Nobody open. Then he looked like he wanted to run the ball. That wasn't available, and he just kept going backwards. And they finally got him to the ground at the 36-yard line. 1st down, Blacksburg. That's what we're talking about, Chris, a big defensive play.
When they need it.
So now the Blacksburg offense, who's been on the sideline for this entire 3rd quarter, is back on the field. I formation, Sullivan and Latrell Keys behind Trey Gresh. They're going to try to run the ball again. Here's Latrell Keys over the right side. He's running wide. He's not going to get anywhere. He's coming back the other way. Cuts back up inside and does it.
Wow.
Gets all the way up to the 47-yard line. And by reversing his field, he got some running room for the first time tonight. Got 12 yards and a 1st down.
And I think that's going to double his rushing total for the night. He's got to be feeling great. That was a busted play. Totally busted play. He ran 5 yards backwards before he cut back inside.
He was giving ground, trying to get outside, realized he was not going to be able to get around the corner, stopped and cut it right back up inside and caught the Pulaski defense by surprise and almost went all the way.
It sure did. He had one man to beat. He got dragged down by an ankle. I can't believe he found a hole through there.
1st down, Blacksburg at their own 47-yard line, and Greg Keys now has to come over and call a timeout, and Dave Christ is not happy. Something happened to the Blacksburg play call that time that wasn't right. Greg came immediately to the sideline and called timeout, and you could just see the frustration for Blacksburg head coach Dave Christ. He's got his headset off. He's talking to his players, and that's the 2nd time. Chris, they only have Well, they've got a couple timeouts left, but they've already used 2 here in the second half. It says 4 on the board, though. That can't be right. I think they only have 1 timeout left.
Well, maybe that's a 0.
And Pulaski only has 1 timeout left. They've already used 2 in the second half.
Nope.
But that was just something happened there, confusion that really shouldn't have happened because, number one, you've got some momentum. You don't want to stop play here. You got a big play. You want to keep coming at Pulaski, and now you call timeout and give Pulaski time to gather themselves a little bit.
Yeah, you almost got to think that maybe Gresh read the wrong play off his card there.
All I know is Greg Keys, when he came out here at his wide receiver position, looked right at the bench and called timeout.
Yeah, pretty sure Coach Chris was giving him the signal.
So anyway, it's 1st and 10, 47-yard line. We're ready to go now. Latrell Keys in the backfield by himself, 2 wide receivers. Latrell Keys gets the handoff, and he goes ahead. He's up to the 50-yard line. Get about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Nice run up the middle there. That's the kind of football we're used to seeing from Blacksburg. Nice, good, that draw up the middle. Usually get about 4 yards in that one with Latrell Keys.
And as we told you before, Pulaski has several players who go both ways, and one of them is Benji Poindexter in the middle there. He's calling the defensive signals, and so let's hope we can keep him on the field defensively here for a while and maybe tire him out a little bit because he's been running hard tonight for them on offense. 2nd down and 6. Here's Gresh. Hand off to Keys. Up the middle he goes. He got 3 more yards. It'll be 3rd down and short. Knocked down at the 47-yard line of Pulaski. And it was David Jeter on the play defensively for Pulaski. Blacksburg came in 5-1. Pulaski 1-5. You would never know it by the way this game's being played tonight. 7-7 tie late in the 3rd quarter. 2:44 on the clock and it's running. 3rd down and 3 for Blacksburg. Huge play for the Bruins. Again, Latrell Keys, the only setback. 2 wide receivers wait on the right side. Greg Keys on the left side. Trey Gresh calling signals. Back to pass. Throwing it. Completing it to Jordan Wade, but I think he's going to be short of the first down. He went out of bounds at the 45 or 46-yard line, and he's still about a yard short on 4th down, it looks like.
They gave him no yards on that.
Looks like Blacksburg's going to have to kick, and that's exactly what Dave Christus called here.
Wow.
Actually, they lost yardage. It's 4th down and didn't gain anything. 4th and 3. You're right, no gain.
You see, on 3rd down, you got to run that pattern to the 1st down marker.
Well, Latrell Keys comes off, and he's frustrated, takes his helmet off, and this Blacksburg offense just not getting it done tonight. There's just been no momentum at all. And so Trey Gresh now will try to pin Pulaski deep in their own territory. Kick is away, very high. Fair catch signal for Poindexter. Makes it inside the 10-yard line. Perfect. As far as Blacksburg is concerned, the Cougars now will operate inside their 10-yard line.
Yeah, that was a nice punt by Gresh. Good hang time on that. He had 2 Blacksburg players waiting for him when he caught the ball. He couldn't have gone anywhere if he wanted to.
Well, a dangerous catch by Demetrius Brown. He caught it up over his head, which is unusual when you're catching a punt.
Well, it can't be easy to catch a ball when you got two players from the other team sitting in your face.
Very effective kick, though. Very
definitely
high, good hang time, no chance for a return. And so now Blacksburg hoping for a turnover here. Pulaski has, coming into this game anyway, a reputation of turning the ball over. They've only fumbled once tonight, and that was early in the game. So here we go, Shea Dunnigan with Poindexter and Nubian Peak behind him. This will be Peak. He fell down. He didn't even get to the line of scrimmage. Slipped down in the backfield, back at the 8-yard line. Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen that tonight. Always good to see that.
Only 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. We'll be home by 9:30 tonight. This game, whenever you have this many running plays, the game goes by pretty quick.
Well, the refs don't have any more powerhouse.
The only problem is Blacksburg is at a tie. They would like to have the lead with the clock running. All right, here we go, 2nd and 11. Once again, Dunnigan with the signals and handing off again. This is Poindexter looking for room in the middle. Can't find any. He got maybe 2 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and long, and this is the key to stopping Pulaski. Keep him in 2nd, 3rd and long.
Get him into 3rd and long.
Yep.
Make him pass.
3rd and 9, and Dunnigan now, again, has an opportunity to maybe put the ball in the air, but he hasn't had much success tonight. In fact, he hasn't had any success. He tried last time and lost about 15 yards. He doesn't want to do that here. See what Pulaski calls on 3rd down and 9. Clock running, 1:17 left, 3rd quarter. All the scoring in this game was in the 2nd quarter. Pulaski scored first, Blacksburg answered, and that's where we are, 7-7 tie. Here's Dunnigan. Going to pitch it out to Poindexter. He tries to turn the corner and does, but he's hit well short of the 1st down marker. He got out to the 15-yard line, and that's it. It will be 4th down and 5 for Pulaski.
Well, it's like a punt team coming out.
For the first time tonight, Pulaski is going to have to punt.
I didn't even know they had one.
And the punter is number 4, Clay White, and I will tell you, he is a very good kicker. Greg Keys better go back pretty far because this guy can kick the ball. Keys is standing at his own 47-yard line, and he's already brought one back for a touchdown this year. White gets the kick away. Very short. Well, I'm glad I was wrong. He gets a good bounce, but that's a short kick, and it's going to be down at the 47-yard line of Blacksburg. Not a good kick for Clay White.
He was booming those things in the pregame.
He was. Rush was on. He got a little pressure back there, and now Blacksburg needs to put the hammer down. Right now, they need to take the ball and put it in the end zone.
Got the ball on your own side of your field. There's no excuse to not score here.
This is just about where they had it, and they had to punt the last time they had it, so here we go. They got an opportunity to put the ball down into the end zone as the third quarter is coming to an end. 27 seconds left.
No need to huddle. They already got their play.
Wade and Belote wide right. Keys left side with Tyler Holmes. Gresh shotgun formation. Latrell Keys right beside him. Holmes in motion. Trey Gresh rolling out. Stumbled as he turned the corner upfield. Poindexter got an ankle, but Trey got about 2 or 3 yards. Looked like he tripped, Chris, right as he turned to go upfield.
Knowing this field, you can't blame anyone for tripping out here.
Only got 1 yard, 2nd and 9. That's going to probably be the last play of the third quarter as the clock is running, and Blacksburg will have an opportunity to talk about it here. So that's going to do it. We've played 3 quarters here tonight. 1 big quarter left here at Bill Brown Stadium. Timeout. Our score, Blacksburg 7, Pulaski 7.
You'll never have to stop and ask for directions.
And you'll be helping a busload of people. And when you pass by, everyone will stop and take notice.
If you are at least 20 years of age,
have a good driving record, and are interested in working for the best transit system in Virginia,
visit our website at www.vtransit.org or give us a call at 961-1185.
Blacksburg Transit, we're your bus line.
And we just got the third quarter stats. These guys are really, really good. I'd like to thank once again Joe Mayfed, Blacksburg High School, for supplying us with all of our statistics this season, and he's done a heck of a job. And unfortunately tonight, there haven't been a lot of Blacksburg numbers to talk about.
Sure haven't. They got Nubian Peak is over 100 yards rushing now. He's got 108, and Pulaski as a team is over 200 now.
2nd down and 9. Here we go. Blacksburg at the Pulaski 45-yard line. Trey Gresh shotgun formation. 2 guys back to block. Trey's got some heat. Going to throw a screen pass to Latrell Keys. 45-40, got some blocks. 35-30. One got a bait. 20, 15, 10. He's going to go to the end zone. Touchdown, Blacksburg. No flags on the field. And the Bruins have finally taken the lead in this football game. A well-designed screen pass. Trey Gresh gets a lot of credit for setting it up, letting the defense come to him and dumping it to Latrell Keys.
It looked like a screen pass. It was either a screen pass or his great penetration, and that was his outlet route. But either way, once Latrell Keys got that ball in his hand, he got some amazing blocks downfield. 3 key blocks set him up on an excellent run. He followed his blocks perfectly, made a perfect little run down the sideline for that touchdown.
47 yards for the touchdown. Violet is on for the extra point. Cook will hold it to 10. Ball is down. Kick is up. It's through the uprights. Timeout on the field. 11:48 left to go in the game. Score, Blacksburg 14, Pulaski 7.
There is a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
Welcome back to Bill Brown Stadium. For the first time tonight, the Blacksburg Bruins have the lead, 14-7. Not only that, Chris, they've got the wind as we now are in the fourth quarter.
That's right.
They score on the first play of the fourth quarter. Now Violet kicks off, and the wind helps him. Demetrius Brown at the 5. He brings it out to the 10, 15, now running to his right. He's at the 20. 25-yard line. Actually got hit before he got to the 25, down at the 24. Good coverage by the Bruins. And number 15 was the first guy in for Blacksburg, and that is T.J. Lockhart. So now the defense has the game in their hands. We're talking about this, Chris. We felt like if Blacksburg could get the lead, that they maybe could shut this offense down, have a little bit more confidence now and something to play for. And all they got to do is figure out a way to stop this running game, and they really did that the last series.
They did. The past 2 series, they shut down this running game right at the end here. So let's see if they can keep that up.
So Shea Dunnigan has absolutely no success through the air tonight. Is out there to basically hand off to either Poindexter or Peak, and it's going to be Peak going around the right side. He does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Defense waiting for him. Tyler Holmes was there. Joey Phillips, actually, first guy in for Blacksburg.
Yep, looks like there was some confusion in the backfield there for Pulaski County. Fullback looked like he ran into the quarterback a little bit, and that messed up their play. So, we got them in the backfield there. That was a good play for the defense as well.
So it's going to be second down, and they actually gave him the line of scrimmage. Generous spot, 2nd and 10. Did not look like he made it back to the line. Jay Dunnigan brings his team up again. Poindexter and Newby and Peak set right behind him in the split backfield. This time it'll be Poindexter, right side, nowhere to go. Boy, the Bruins have really tightened up their defensive line.
They certainly have.
Obviously, bringing the backers closer to the line of scrimmage is helping, and now it's 3rd down and 9 for Pulaski at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, this defense is definitely stiffening in the 4th, and that's a good sign. They needed it today. They needed to stop that rushing attack, and they're starting to do it now. This could turn into a completely different game in the 4th quarter.
Jay Dunnigan may be forced to put it in the air again. Pulaski, a little bit of confusion. They're getting some players on late, and the play clock is running down. Let's see if they get this one off. They've used a lot of time in the huddle. They're just now getting to the line of scrimmage. Clay White is on the line out here, flanked wide left. He's the only wide receiver in this formation. Dunnigan pitches it to Poindexter. They do get the play off, and it's going to be at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. It was Tyler Holmes making the play. 4th down.
Yep. Eric Huff did a nice job shedding his block there to force it back inside. Got a little hold of his ankle there and let Tyler Holmes come in for the clean shot.
The Blacksburg defense finally has come alive here in the 4th quarter and shut down the Pulaski running game. They've been unable all night to do that until now, and what a great time to do it. Clay White is going to kick from inside his 10-yard line. Gets the kick away. Better kick this time. Spiral hits at the 50, bounces down to the 45, probably going to go down to about the 40 it will and be down right there. And Greg Keys wanted no parts of it. He just walked away from it. First down Blacksburg.
That's smart. He did that on the last one too. Just walk right away from it. Can't let that ball touch it.
Much better kick that time from Clay White, but still, look at the field position the Bruins have. And now, Chris, if they can put more points on the board, this game pretty much will be history.
I'd say so. With this defense stepping up now, it's going to be hard for Pulaski to come back from even the 7-point deficit if they can keep this defense up. So they get another 7 up there, make it a 14-point game. I'd say that might be the nail in the coffin.
Trey Gresh in the offense on the field. Shotgun formation. Keys and Gresh in the backfield. Tyler Holmes and Jordan Wade flank wide left. Keys going to run left. Pretty good hole, 45, 50, broke a tackle, 45, 40, down to the 35. Penalty flag is down at the 33-yard line at the end of the play. And let's see what the flag is about. Playing actually going to be, now they move it back to the 43-yard line.
And there might be a block in the back on Blacksburg.
It's going to go against the Bruins. They're already walking back. It's going to be a
holding.
Put it in. It's blocking the back. You're right, first time. That's too bad because that was an excellent run by Latrell Keys. It looks like, Chris, he is just starting to get going now.
Sure, yep. Just in time, too.
That's really not going to hurt too bad because it's from the spot of the foul.
So it's going to be like 2nd and 3?
Yeah, 2nd and 5. Yeah, it's going to come back to the 47-yard line. And it'll be first down. And remember, it's first down.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's going to be first down about 4, actually. So that's not going to hurt too bad.
Not too bad.
And ball's at the 47. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Latrell gets it again. Trey Gresh again, shotgun formation. 3 wide receivers this time to the left side. And they're going to throw a little bubble screen to Greg Keys. He's got some blocking. 45 down to the 43-yard line. First down for Blacksburg. First time we've seen that play tonight. A little bubble screen. Yep. Keys pops back, and they got Holmes and Wade ahead of him blocking.
That was a nice play. Nice setup, too.
And almost like a running play. And now Keys is coming out. He was shaken up on the play.
Well, technically that is a running play because the quarterback throws it backwards.
I think it was a lateral. Like Keys got banged on his knee. Whittle's coming in, a wide receiver. Number 88. So it's first down Blacksburg at the Pulaski 43-yard line. Trey Gresh hands off to Keys. And this time he's hit at the line of scrimmage and maybe got a yard, not much more. But the clock is running. We're down to 8:49 left to go in the game. Blacksburg leading 14-7. This is the toughest game Blacksburg has had in quite some time. They have not been challenged.
Yep, since week 1.
Absolutely right. Graham, easy win. Well, William Fleming gave him a tough game. They finally pulled away from William Fleming. But other than that, they were all over Lord Botetourt, beat Northside pretty handily, and handled Cave Spring last week. So this is a challenge, and really a good game as they head into 2 really big, tough games. This is kind of showing them what's going to be like for the next couple weeks. Second down and 9 for Blacksburg. Gresh, play action pass. rolling, throwing. Oh, Charles Sullivan was open and he overthrew him. Poindexter was on the coverage, but Charles was open at the 35-yard line. The ball was overthrown by Trey Gresh. A little bit too much mustard on it, Chris. He needed to put some air under
it. Well, either that or he needed to put a little bit more on it because it landed right in between Greg Keys and Charles Sullivan, and they were both wide open. So
you can see Charles Sullivan's left ankle was heavily taped.
Yeah, it is.
So he's obviously not 100%, even though he said he was. That's the way players are, though. You ask them if they're okay. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm ready to go, even though they're hurt.
Well, of course, everyone wants to play.
3rd down and 9. Holmes and Keys flank wide right, I formation. Sullivan and Latrell Keys in the backfield. Trey Gresh, play action pass, rolling right. Got some time. Looking, throwing, complete to Greg Keys. 25-yard line, 20. Still going, 15-10. He's head for the end zone. Touchdown, Blacksburg. Trey Gresh to Greg Keys. Another big throw and catch. Gresh to Keys. Wow.
Wow, what a play. Caught the entire defense off guard, it seemed, with that play action. And then he threaded that ball right in there to Keys. He didn't have not much of a pocket to throw it into there.
And then Greg Keys broke a pretty good tackle.
He certainly did, and then he hopped another guy.
And went right down the sideline, and he's into the end zone. 8 minutes exactly left in the game, and Blacksburg now has a 2-touchdown lead.
Got to give it to Tyler Holmes on the block for Keys there, too.
Cook will hold it to 10. Violet's on for the extra point. Caleb Violet, perfect on the extra points tonight, has been unable to get a field goal. That one's low and to the left, but it's through the uprights. It counts. Didn't look like much, but it's on the board. Timeout. 8 minutes left to go in the game. Score, Blacksburg 21, Pulaski 7.
What have we learned, buddy? We've learned to get Michael's face wet, float on his back, it splashes on his face. I would recommend this class for other people because Michael really enjoys it, and it's really taught him a lot about getting into the water and feeling very comfortable in the water.
The Water Babies class is one of the many classes that the Blacksburg Parks and Rec Department has to offer for you and your child. Call 961-1135 or visit www.blacksburg.gov/recreation.
And we're back live at Bill Brown Stadium, energized Bill Brown Stadium. 7-7 tie at the half. It's been all Blacksburg here in the second half, really fourth quarter. This is the first time all year that Blacksburg's got it done in the fourth quarter, Chris.
Sure is.
Most of the time it's hang on. Now it's let's go after them.
Usually it's the other team scoring 2 touchdowns in the fourth, but
exactly. Violet kicking off, high end over end. That's a really good kick. It's going
Rocket
all the way to the end zone and out of the end zone. Of course, it was wind-aided. I got to say, he's got the wind, but what a great time to kick it out of the end zone for Caleb Violet.
There's not much of a wind down there. That was a boomer.
He's getting some high fives. It's going pretty good. Look at the flag. It's going pretty good right now, but still, it was a good kick.
Oh, I did not see that flag.
Yeah, it's
it is blowing pretty hard.
I told you in the fourth quarter, Blacksburg would have the win, and that's huge right now because they have been throwing the ball and running the ball. They've been doing everything well here in the fourth quarter. Actually, the second half. They have actually owned the second half. Pulaski has really not been able to run the ball since the second quarter. So they have it now 1st and 10 from their 20. Shea Dunnigan stays in at quarterback, done a nice job handing off. Now he's going to throw the ball. It's going to be incomplete. They were looking for number 30. The guy who had a shot was John Cook, though, almost intercepted.
Yeah, that was Chris Calfee, the same player who scored that touchdown in the reverse before. He definitely had a step on the defender, so if that pass had been on the money, that could have been a scary play.
But the pass was really wobbly.
It was it was not a very good pass.
It would have been hard to catch for anybody, and Cook was the guy who was closest to it. It goes as an incomplete pass, so it's obvious now that the Cougars know that they're not going to be able to catch up running the ball. They're going to have to do some things that they're not comfortable with, and throwing the ball is one of those things. You may see some reverses and some different things out of the Cougars. They're down by 2 scores with 7:55 left to go in the game. 21-7 Blacksburg. 2nd down and 10 for Shea Dunnigan and the Pulaski offense. This time they're going to hand it to Poindexter. He's hit the line, and for the first time tonight, he didn't fall forward. He fell backwards.
Sure did.
John Bennett was there.
Yeah, Tay Ramsey held him up for the hit. That was a good one.
And Joey Phillips. The defense is looking strong right now. They finally got it going. Josh Reynolds also there. 4 blue jerseys in on the play. And that's the other thing that they weren't doing in the first half.
They were not gang tackling.
They were not gang tackling. They were not getting to the ball, and they were not hitting. They've switched that all around now.
Definitely got that tackling form back.
Looking for their 6th consecutive win here tonight. And they'll be back home next week against an undefeated Hidden Valley team. Huge game. Double reverse, and it's Calfee with the ball. Little misdirection in the backfield and a good tackle by Greg Keys, saving what could have been an even bigger play. They did get close to the first down marker, but that's the first time tonight we've seen a double reverse by Pulaski, and it worked pretty well.
Sure did. They almost got a first down on that one. It's going to make it, about 4th and 1 here?
Calfee's been their big play guy tonight. He caught ran for the touchdown, and that time he ran for, he got 9 yards. It's 4th and 1, and Pulaski obviously is going to go for it here. And this is pretty much the game if they don't pick it up here. Now Blacksburg, you know what? We're going to call timeout. If they're going for it, let's make sure we got everybody thinking what we need to do here.
Everybody on the right page, everybody rested.
Yeah, because if we stop them right here, it's ball game. And we'll keep it right here as we have 6:42 left to go in this football game, and Pulaski sensing now or never situation on 4th and about a yard at the 29-yard line.
Man, what a difference in the game after those 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely.
Whew, this is a completely different game now than it was in every other quarter.
And if you think about what turned it around, Pulaski was down here, and they went for it on 4th down, and a huge loss.
Yep.
Quarterback took a 15-yard sack.
Yep.
On downs, Blacksburg gets it. It's been all Blacksburg ever since.
It has. That has to be the turning point in the game. You know, they thought they might pick up that 4th down, but lo and behold, they lose 15 yards and the ball. So definitely the turning point of this game is that 15-yard sack.
I think that just gave the defense so much confidence. They haven't been.
They've stopped them ever since that play. The defense has been stopping them.
Well, if they come up with a big play here, it's really going to be exciting. They'll know that they have won this game.
What a good time to step up too. You get some confidence now going into these 2 hard games that are coming up. And your defense has finally stepped up, and now you can play with anybody.
Blacksburg, by the way, is out of timeouts. Pulaski has 1 timeout left. Here we go, 4th down and less than a yard. Donegan hands off to Poindexter. He goes straight ahead, and he got the first down just by about a yard. That's all he needed. So it's first down at the 32-yard line for Pulaski. Give them credit. They've picked up some 4th down plays tonight.
They have.
But Blacksburg has done a nice job of figuring out how to slow down this Pulaski ground attack. And I'm going to tell you what, they have been in some games, close games this year, and really 1-5 is a deceiving record. They're a lot better than that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we know why now. They're a very talented team. They got some good running backs. They don't make a lot of mistakes. There's a completed pass. Dunnigan hits Clay White, who runs into the first down marker. And so Dunnigan has just completed, I believe, that's his first completion of the night.
Oh, he got one right at the end of the first half.
Yeah, so that's his second completion, you're right. And I think it's a first down. Let's see. Actually, they're going to say he was out of bounds before he got, so they got about 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2. They mark it right at the 40-yard line. 6:17 on the clock. It is stopped. Clay White went out of bounds.
Really, at this point, Blacksburg just needs to not let up a big play.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to let anybody get behind you. No big plays. You got John Cook back there playing safety. You got Greg Keys at one corner. And here we go with Benji Poindexter running left. He won't get back to the line of scrimmage. He's tackled at the 40-yard line. Penalty flag in the backfield. And this is going to go against Pulaski. This will be a holding penalty against the Cougars. They threw it right in front of the quarterback, Shea Dunnigan. And that's not what you want if you're Pulaski right now.
No, definitely don't need that.
Because what you had basically was 3rd and short. Now you're going to have 2nd and
12.
Yeah, it's going to be, this flag is at the 36. It'll go back to the 26. It's going to be longer than that.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be about 2nd and 17 or something like that. See where the flag is?
Yeah.
It'll be 10 from there. So they're going to go back to the 25-yard line. 26-yard line.
That's a big turnaround for the Cougars.
The good news is it's only 2nd down. The bad news is it's 2nd down at about 20. Now let's see, how far is it?
It will be 2nd down and 18.
2nd and 18. Now they got 2 wide receivers for the first time tonight, or one of the few times tonight. Shea Dunnigan with only 1 running back, and that's Poindexter. He's back to pass. He's rolling right. He's looking. He's going to throw. He's got a completed pass, but not nearly enough for a first down. Clay White's the receiver. Josh Reynolds is on the defense for Blacksburg. So Blacksburg right now, Chris, they're content to give up anything in front of them, short yardage plays, short passes. Just let the clock run.
Sure, I mean they can actually give up a long sustained drive.
Sure.
They just can't give up a big play.
That's right.
Because one long sustained drive, they'll leave with a minute left when Blacksburg gets the ball back. So
it's 3rd down and 8 now from the 35-yard line for Pulaski. Once again, they've got 2 wide receivers. Clay White's been the go-to guy. He's on the short side of the field. Let's see if Dunnigan is going to throw over the middle. Incomplete. Boy, he had the tight end open, and it would have been a first down. That was Josh Owens, but Josh took his eye off the ball because he knew he was going to get hit. And it's 4th down and 8 now for
Yeah,
Pulaski.
yeah. Eric Huff was on a beam towards him. If Huff wasn't going for the hit so hard, he might have had a pick there because the receiver dropped it. It bounced right off Huff's hands. But of course, he had those reared back to lay his shoulders into the guy who's about to catch the ball.
This is a different animal. It was 4th and 1 last time, less than a yard. Now it's 4th and 8.
Yep.
So this is an excellent opportunity for Blacksburg to close them out right here. You can hear the fans. They sense it right now. They know that one more big play will get it done here tonight. Dunnigan back to pass. Here comes the rush. They got him in the backfield. Russell got him. Everett Russell was there, got the sack. Ball game is just about over. The ball goes over to Blacksburg at the Pulaski 30-yard line.
And here comes Latrell Keys to run the clock down.
5:42 on the clock. Blacksburg basically just needs to get about 2 or 3 first downs, and this game will be in the books.
They get
If
three.
they get another score,
Yeah.
it'll definitely be in the books.
3 first downs, and that's a touchdown.
That's
so.
right. So Trey Gresh in the offense comes back on the field. Latrell Keys, he struggled in the first half, but he's had a big second half. And he's got an opportunity here to add to his numbers.
Yep.
How many yards
coming into the third quarter? He only had 24. He's probably got close to 40 yards this quarter.
Trey Gresh, Latrell Keys, right side, got some room. Turns it back up inside, doesn't want to stop the clock. It's down the 26-yard line. Had an opportunity to go wide, but didn't want to go out of bounds, so he wisely kept it inbounds, and the clock continues to run. By the time they snap this ball, we'll be down to about 5:15 in the game. It's 5:25 on the clock right now. Tyler Holmes coming in to the offense. I didn't know, actually, he's staying in. Woodall's coming in, a wide receiver. Belote's in. So they're going to go 3 wides, it looks like, here on 2nd down and 6.
They got 4 out there.
4 wides. They got Jordan
Wade out there too.
Woodall on the right side, and they got Belote and Holmes on the left side. But they're going to go with Latrell Keys is going to run the ball, and he's getting mugged on the inside.
So he lost his hat there.
Yeah, they ripped his helmet off at the 25-yard line. This is where you got to be careful. If you're an official, you got to keep control of the game here. You got a lot of frustrated players wearing white jerseys right now.
Yep.
Because they see the clock running, they know they're down by 2 scores, and there's not a whole lot they can do.
Yeah, until about 10 minutes ago, they were still in this football game. So.
Right. The air went out in a hurry for Pulaski.
Sense of shock.
2 big plays for Blacksburg, and they've pretty much salted this one away. 3rd down and 5 now. Would be nice if they could get a first down and keep the ball, not give it back to Pulaski here. You basically have 2 plays to do that. They're going to have
split
Keys,
back.
Yeah, Sullivan and Keys in a split backfield behind Gresh. Gresh is going to throw. Got some time now. He flushed out of the pocket. He's going to run. Going to throw. What's he going to do? He's going to throw for Latrell Keys. Incomplete. Latrell Keys had to go right through his hands at the 2-yard line. Would have been a touchdown. He could not hold on to it.
Man, just the pass is just a little bit high, but he still could have caught that one. He just right through his hands. It is hard to get your hands above your head with those pads on, I got to say.
Nice job by Trey Gresh of buying time, rolling out and waiting for somebody to come open, and boy, Latrell Keys was wide open. So on 4th down, let's see what they do. They're just going to run another play. And really, I think running play would be the ticket here just to get the clock running. 4:12, and it's stopped with the incomplete pass. It's 4th down and 5. I formation, Sullivan and Keys in the backfield. Here's Gresh. Back to pass. He's got Holmes open. First down. Inside the 20. Trey Gresh to Tyler Holmes. That play has worked all night long.
Sure has.
Just a little out pattern. And Tyler Holmes did a nice job of getting past. And now he's got cramps. He's going to have to come out. Make sure he was past the first down marker. And then he turned for the ball. And Trey Gresh had it right there.
Get that man a banana. He just got a first down.
Yeah, he's got a little cramp. He's okay. He's going to come off the field. Sean Bennett is going on. Tight end. And now we'll see Blacksburg go back to the ground. Clock running, 3:52 left to go in the game. Blacksburg leading 21-7, but it's not been that kind of game. This game was tied 7-7 at halftime, and until late in the third quarter, Blacksburg finally got control of this thing. Handoff goes to Charles Sullivan.
Those Keys.
I'm sorry, that is Keys. Latrell Keys. Down to the 15-yard line. Thought we'd see a little bit more Josh Price tonight, but we haven't.
Yep.
Sullivan.
He's listed as the starter.
Yeah, Sullivan has decided that he wanted to play and he wasn't going to come out. Now Latrell Keys is limping a little bit.
Yeah, this Blacksburg team just has a swagger right now that they just weren't playing with in the first part of this game.
Exactly.
They've gotten it back.
It took them about 3 quarters to figure it out, but once they did, they pulled away. Wade comes wide to the right. 2 tight ends. Latrell Keys, the only running back, behind Trey Gresh, 2nd down and 8. Keys goes over the right side. 15, 10, needs a block. down to the 8-yard line, close to a first down.
Real close.
If he gets it, it'll be first and goal. They marked it at the 8, and that's where the sticks are. Let's see what they, actually they're going to say he's a little bit short. It'll be third down and less than a yard for Blacksburg. Clock running, 2:41 left to go in the game. Blacksburg is going to make this look easy. When somebody picks up the paper tomorrow and sees the score, they're not going to realize how tough this was.
No, the score is not indicative of the game at all.
This is a very tough game for Blacksburg, and a very good time to get a tough game because they got 2 tough ones coming up. They had to work tonight, and they're going to have to work even harder next week to beat Hidden Valley. Here we go, third and short. Handoff goes Latrell Keys. Hit in the backfield, broke a couple tackles, spins the forward, and looks like he picked up the first down on second and third effort.
Yeah, they're going to give that one to him.
He got down to the 7-yard line, and it will be first and goal for Blacksburg. Wow, big effort by Latrell Keys.
Broke 2 tackles before he got back to the line of scrimmage, and then he broke a third and pounded forward just to get that first down. Excellent run.
2 minutes left to go in the game. Blacksburg threatening to put some more points on the board. They don't really need more points. They just want the clock to run out right now. And then they'll be looking forward to the biggest game of their season and the biggest game they've had in quite a while here at Bill Brown Stadium against an undefeated Hidden Valley team. Well, I'm sorry, we don't know that yet. They're playing Salem tonight. So going into tonight, they were undefeated. One of those teams is going to get a loss. There's Keys straight ahead, only got a yard. Blacksburg, really, you can tell, not interested in scoring right now.
No, they're just trying to run that clock
out. Yeah, and that's, you give a lot of credit to Coach Dave Chris. He doesn't want to run the score up. He doesn't need any more points. He just wants to end the game, get to the locker room, and think about next week. And they're taking out all their starters. You can hear the crowd reacting. All the first teamers are coming out. And Charles Sullivan, late coming back in, he has to stay in, I think. Purcell is the new quarterback. Gresh is out of the game. Josh Parcell is in at quarterback. Second down, they give the ball to Emmel, Jason Emmel, the new tailback, and he spins around, got a couple yards. 1 minute left to go in the game. 1 minute left, clock running. It'll be third down and goal from about the 6-yard line for Blacksburg. Number 35 is checking in the line. See some of these new players. Robert Clark is now in the game. Jordan Wade comes out, so Clark's in a wide receiver. I don't know who 50 is, but he's firing out of that huddle. That's the new center, Dustin Price. He's excited. And Josh Parcell's the quarterback. 34 seconds left in the game. Third down and goal from the 5. Parcell, Jason Emmel. Oh, Emmel's hit in the backfield by Poindexter. So Benji Poindexter with one last big play for his team, and that's probably going to do it. 21 seconds, 20 seconds. I believe they don't have to snap it. It's fourth down. I think the ball game is over. They do not have to snap the ball again. Big win for Blacksburg. It wasn't easy, but they got it done.
Not at all.
They made plays when they had to, and boy, oh boy, they toughed this one out. That's the final score tonight from Bill Brown Stadium. Blacksburg has defeated Pulaski 21-7.